Welcome to the God damn it.
Sorry, I'm
Everybody has to do the fucking thing where they do the now recording.
like,
Welcome to Issue Crew Movie Reviews. It's the show where we review movies with members of the Issue Crew like me and also guests. I am your host, Riley, the only member of the Issue Crew present. I am planning. You see, Issue Crew Movie Reviews has had a distinct lack of the Issue Crew as of late, and I'm trying to change that. I'm planning some reviews with the other people, but for now, it's just me and some guests, as has been the norm. Harry Otter back on the show
hello, I'm back. Hi, thank you.
twice in a row. I do not think we've made an episode since me and you talked about the wrestler,
Oh
so
shit.
it's been a while. But I don't think we've made another episode. And also, Harry Otter's husband, his near almost decade husband, who is real despite what Mo tries to say. Alan, am I just calling you Alan, or do you have a fake name and I have to bleep this?
No, just keep it as Alan. I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool. Welcome to the show, Alan. I'm told you're
Thank
a
you.
you're a Superman expert.
I wouldn't say expert, but I'm old, so I just have a lot of knowledge from my youth that I've collected over the years.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 60 years old. I just turned 60.
Whoo! I didn't
All
know
right,
Harry Otter had a
pull
sugar
it back.
daddy.
Well, I don't know about sugar daddy, but nerdy daddy. There.
Nerd daddy.
I mean, that's what kind of I think what attracted me to him because just being a DC nerd. Because he was really into Wonder Woman when I met him, and then I just learned about how he knows a lot about like a just kind of older DC history. He's experienced a lot of that, and I wasn't even alive during then.
Yeah, my relationship with DC is interesting because, like, as a kid, I just like was not into traditional superheroes. Like, I never read comic books. That's remained the case. I barely ever read comic books. And like the heroes I was interested in when I was a little kid were like the Power Rangers and Goku. I didn't really care what Superman was up to. And then as I got older in like my teen years, I had people in my general circle talking about the CW DC shows, and I got into Arrow and the Flash. And I do have like a strong now I have a strong DC obsession, but it's specifically through those two television shows. And they kind of don't really talk about the two big ones that much. Like Superman's in it a little bit. Even the Superman show I don't think is even canon to the Arrowverse, and I haven't seen it. And other than that, he's only in a couple episodes, and Batman just like isn't in it at all. So so I have very little exposure to the big two DC heroes, except I did watch the new cartoon for Superman because
Oh, my
the
adventures
bit
with Superman.
yeah, the bit of here's an American thing you know, but it's an anime works on me. I do get interested in a show when they do that, and like My Adventures with Superman is actually like genuinely a great, wholesome, like early superhero career show about Superman and his girlfriend Lois and their friend Jimmy and their quirky little trio and Superman fighting evil aliens from space. It's a great show. So now I'm into Superman through that show. So I decided to see this film because it's this new Superman reboot and the start of this big DC universe. Maybe I'll finally have a chance to jump on one of these universes as it starts because I was not into superheroes as a kid, so I didn't get on the MCU on the ground floor. This is finally my shot. Hopefully James Gunn makes a good cinematic universe.
um, Alan watched a lot of the CW shows at first. I don't know that much, but when I met him, he was really into Flash and Arrow.
See, I mean, again, we go back to my age and my experience with superheroes. I didn't have much of a choice. I grew up with the old Batman series that was actually in syndication by the time um, I got exposed to it. But I watched the original Batman show. The original Superman shows were also becoming in syndication, so I watched those. And then again, by Saturday morning cartoons, I had Super Friends. I had, and then I started getting exposed to comic books. I originally started with the Archie series, Archie, Jughead, and all that gang, and then started slowly moving into the DC, if you will, the Silver Age of Batman, Superman, all of that. I went through the first Infinite Crisis through the comic books. I
Crisis of Two Earths.
saw, excuse me?
Crisis on Two Earths was the first one.
Yeah, whatever that was.
It's all confusing.
Um,
There's a bunch of crises.
And then the reboots, the first reboots. And I remember I bought the Wonder Woman #1, which was fantastic. It was done by George Perez. Absolute incredible beginning for her. But I think what we're here for is the movies.
True.
The first movie I saw, and I'm going to probably get a lot of shit for this, but I saw Star Wars first in '76. I
That
thought
was
it was
like your
fine.
first movie, you're
No,
saying?
That was my
Oh.
first big movie.
Okay.
My first big exposure to like what we now call shit. What do we call them now? You know, like when a big movie
just
comes.
hyped up movies, kind of like
Excuse me?
Endgame or kind of like
The
big hyped up movies.
blockbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blockbusters.
Right. So, you know, and then when they came out with the first Superman movie, I went to go see it. And from the opening credits, I was hooked. I was addicted. It was the first time, because even though movies were a lot cheaper back then, we were still pretty poor. So it was a big treat to go see a movie. I actually got to go see the movie 3 times. That was a big deal. But that's how good it was. That's how much it impacted me.
Man, that was
I
such a
just,
rare thing for me as a kid. Like I always would like want to, but obviously my grandmother wouldn't want to waste the money to go see the same. First of all, she wouldn't want to see. She wanted to kill herself the first time she had to see the stupid kids movie. She doesn't want to see it again. But I remember there was one time I was really into these movies as a kid, which is funny because they're so like critically panned. And I'm sure if I went back and watched them, I would also not like them because it does not seem like they're good movies according to general consensus. But I was really into the Alvin and the Chipmunks like
Oh,
reboot
shit.
movies as a kid. And I saw the first one in theaters twice. That was like one of the very few movies I ever saw twice as a kid. Because for some reason my aunt wanted to see it. My
I
old
mean,
ass aunt
Oh
just
wow.
wanted to see the film, and grandma was like, "You liked it. Do you want to go with your aunt to see it again?" And I was like, "Sure."
I've had a couple of movies like that growing up. The first one was Space Jam. I just really was. I don't know. I was just really impressed by like the soundtrack and the live action and animation. And I know it's just a really shitty movie now. You know, you'll just see people uh, roast it constantly nowadays. But I just was really into it, and I saw it multiple times. And also
Do
Truman
people
Show.
roast Space Jam? Space Jam, I thought, is pretty highly
I mean,
regarded.
there's some good. I mean, unless you ever watch like the YMS little watch along where him and his friends
I've
just.
not watched that, so maybe they do shit on it. But I saw that movie in theaters in 2020, and it was the first time I had ever seen it because they were doing that thing where movie theaters were just opening back up, but there were no movies,
Oh
so they were
shit!
just showing old movies. And I'd never seen Space Jam before, and Space Jam was in theaters at my local movie theater, so I went and I saw Space Jam, and it was pretty good. I liked it.
I still like it today. Like I guess just watch it and I mean I just have that. Like I guess you could just say it's a guilty pleasure, but there's just like some movies that are considered just not that good, but I like them.
it doesn't even matter if it was considered good by now. At the time, it was one of the best things that you ever saw, and there's nothing wrong with that. And again, to bring it back to Superman, when we saw that, their tagline was, "You'll believe a man could fly." Well, holy shit, we actually believed a man could fly. They did it so beautifully. And what's so unique about a movie like that is that they actually were creating things as they went along. They created special effects that have never been done before as they were making this movie. And so to see something that you've never seen before on screen that didn't look like it was fake, it looked real, you know, that was amazing. That's why I went to go see it the second time with my mom, and then I went to go see it the third time with my mom and my dad because they loved it because they'd never seen anything like that before either. So even if you look at it now, you say, oh, yeah, I mean, that's bad blue screening, or you could see this or that. At the time, it was amazing. So, when you saw Alvin and the Chipmunks, that was a great movie for you, and you wanted to experience that again, you know? Same with Space Jam. And especially movies like that, to see it on a big screen. You lose a little something when you go to television or you go to a computer screen.
Or a phone.
It's true. It is always like so sick to see movies on the big screen as opposed to just seeing them at home. Like you can still enjoy a movie for what it is, exactly the same when you watch it at home. But there's just something cool about going to a facility and sitting in front of this giant screen with like the surround audio. Like when they started putting the fucking Dragon Ball movies in theaters, that's fucking awesome. Every time that happens, I love going to the theater and seeing the new Dragon Ball movie. I hope they do another one soon. It's been a hot few years. Obviously, there's been some unfortunate developments in the world of Dragon Ball, but I know they're still going to make some stuff, and I hope we get a movie at some point.
Oh yeah, the last big one was superhero, right?
Yeah, that was like 2023, 2022 maybe.
Shit, it feels like time just flies by.
Yeah.
I don't know if Daima's gonna have a movie or anything, but I guess
Well,
that's the
Daima had like I actually missed that, unfortunately. Daima had like a premiere in theaters, like the first 3 episodes played in American theaters for a couple days. And I missed that, unfortunately, which I'm kind of glad I did because it took them an additional like 4 months to put out the dub, and they put it out weekly, and those first 3 episodes also came out weekly. So I would have seen the first 3 episodes of Daima and then had to wait like 6 months to see the next one. So maybe I'm glad I missed that premiere. But seeing the movies there has always been cool.
I only mention it because we see like commercial, like when we had cable at the moment, but when we had YouTube TV, we had Adult Swim, and they're just pushing Daima so hard in the commercials on Adult Swim.
Daima looks sick. I haven't watched it yet. I'm behind. I never actually finished Super, and I picked it back up recently. So like I'm just now like heading into the Tournament of Power is where I am in Super. And then once that's done, I'll probably watch Daima. And then I'm thinking I'm in a big Dragon Ball mood. We'll see how long it lasts, but if I can keep it going, the plan after that is to watch GT and then probably Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z 2 with the filler, because I realized watching Dragon Ball Super that I love filler and I want more filler.
Oh shit!
So
be careful,
I'm gonna
link to GT, but I guess you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I like GT. I've always liked GT. I've never watched it from beginning to end, but like it was on Nicktoons when I was a kid, and I had like DVDs of it and shit.
Oh,
And I like GT a lot. The Super 17 arc is pretty bad, but the rest of it is actually pretty good in my opinion, from what I've seen.
I like it. I actually like the. I mean, I like the 17 art just because I think his design's pretty cool. But
I like the design, and but like the fact that they brought back old villains and did like almost nothing cool with it. And also Goten and Trunks sense the energy of an android. Like they can't be consistent with their own logic at all. I think they acknowledge that you can't sense Super 17, but then they're writing this scene. They're like, "What's an old villain that goat-headed Trunks can murder? Oh, Android 19, and oh, they can sense his energy over there." And it's like, no, it's not how androids work. God damn you!
Oh, I hated Nappa's no line appearance, and he just
No, I loved that though. That was an
oh
amazing character moment for Vegeta. That my favorite thing about GT is the character of Vegeta. Like I think they handled Vegeta's development worlds better than Super. It's just that they don't give him any cool fights to have. Unfortunately, is the one bad thing. But like his development as a character is great because like he sees Nappa and this guy who he once brutally murdered for no reason, he gives him a chance. He's like, okay, just fucking get out of town, get the fuck away from me, go start a new life, Nappa, if you know what's good for you. And then Nappa just goes rah and tries to kill him. And Vegeta's like, well, that's a damn shame, and obviously kills him. But like the fact that Vegeta gave him a chance shows a lot of growth to Vegeta's moral compass, that he has some level of loyalty left for his old partner and kind of regrets how he handled that disillusion and is now willing to give him a chance before he gets rid of him like everything else that he needs to get rid of.
oh no, I agree. I think that's all cool, and
We lost Alan.
oh yeah, something came up on he's at a salon. He works at a salon, and just something came up, and he had to answer a call
Oh, okay.
because he also has a key. So I'll let you know if he comes back, but we can continue on.
I hope he comes back. I'd feel bad if this was the end of his contributions. We didn't even talk about the movie.
Oh, that's cool. I'll let him. I'll check out. I mean, did you still want to talk about Dragon Ball still, or
I mean, yeah, if we want to stall a little more before we get into the movie, that would be fine. What else is there to talk about Dragon Ball though? I will say one interesting thing I picked up on from Super. I talked about this on Detour Ahead too, but like new discussion with new people. Go in the Zeno Expo, the like pre-tournament to the Tournament of Power, where Gohan fights that lavender guy, that fucking yellow dog man.
oh yes,
That that fight was like really good, and I feel like really kind of brought home after Resurrection F completely disrespected Gohan and made it look like he was an incompetent fuck who was not capable of anything. Gohan versus Lavender really cemented like, no, Gohan, he still has those instincts. He's still the warrior that we know. He just has softened over time because he's been in a time of peace and hasn't kept up his training. But that doesn't mean he's completely pathetic and incompetent like he was in Resurrection F for some reason.
the tracksuit that got totally made fun of. I think.
Fucking skinny ass Gohan, fucking little twig ass boy in his green jumpsuit.
Oh my god. It was just a little bit of a. I don't know. There was God Battle of Gods. That was the first one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just had that banger, and then do you think it picked up that much until I guess Brawly?
I mean, well, there was Super in between that and Broly. And some
Oh
of
yeah,
that was
yeah,
pretty
shit.
cool. But uh, Dragon Ball, new Dragon Ball is kind of a double-edged sword. Like I feel like Dragon Ball is like literally perfect and untouchable through the end of Z, and once you introduce Super, it starts getting like weird. Like there's almost like Flanderization going on character wise, because like Goku through Dragon Ball Z, like at the end of Z, had kind of matured into this like sagely zen, more like mature and aware of stakes warrior who was like, he was old and combat hardened and also dead for 5 years, so he kind of like zened out. And then Super happens, and he's just like, "Hey, look at me, I'm Goku!" And it's like, okay, well, this is a little disappointing. And then it's with Vegeta too, because Vegeta the character line for Vegeta through the Buu saga leading into further media seemed like it was going to be he is becoming more human and slowly but surely getting out of touch with his like super uptight Saiyan pride mindset. And GT delivered on that very well and told a story of a mature Vegeta who views himself as at home on planet Earth and in fact views himself as the sole protector of planet Earth because Goku is so stupid and laissez-faire that he doesn't trust him to do it. So he's like, no, 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 this is my responsibility. He doesn't do it very well because a bunch of really powerful bad guys show up that only Goku is allowed to stop because it's Dragon Ball GT. Uh, but that idea for the character is really good. But then in Super, he's just right back to I will be stronger than Kakarot. I am the Prince of all Saiyans. Earth is but a place where I live, where my wife is, but that's about all I care about.
Oh my god. I was just gonna say something when we were talking about Goku. When he's like, there's moments where he's kind of funny when he's just really stupid. Like when I always see that scene where he pretends to, like, with the big ass is it like a tractor or some shit? And
That
he's
is my one of my favorite scenes. Sometimes Goofy Goku is good. Like it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that it's too much in Super.
yeah.
But there's great moments. One of which is when he's having to pretend to be knocked out of the ring for Mr. Satan's benefit. And he left his tractor there. And as he's flying away, pretending to be knocked away, he like subtly flies back in and he's like, I forgot my tractor. And then he picks up the tractor. He's like, ah. I forgot my tractor.
Oh yeah. And like there's random filler during Super, like with the I guess we only really appreciate it if you watch the dub with where they get the old Ocean dub voice actor for Vegeta, I think.
Yeah, that was cool. They got to play copy Vegeta. Yeah, that was pretty sick.
Is it just I mean, I don't know if you would know. Did you ever see the sub version or the original? The
No, I only watched the dub
okay,
version.
because I don't know there would be any significance to the.
No, because I think Dragon Ball has had the same voice cast for like 70,000 years over in Japan. So there's no real way to do that type of thing. But yeah, they got him back to do copy Vegeta, and then they were going into the this is reasons why Sean Schemmel is an asshole number 87. I don't really know much about him, but I'm told people don't like him. Actually, it seems like maybe people are coming around. Maybe he's become better, but he had a pretty bad reputation for a while. And one
Yeah,
of
I
the
see
shitty
some. Oh, sorry.
one of the shitty things that Sean Schemmel did, apparently, reportedly, was after they got the Ocean Dub voice actor for Vegeta back for Copy Vegeta, everybody was like cool and they liked it and it was fun. So they were like, what if we got Goku Black, played by Peter Kalamis, who voiced Goku in the Ocean Dub? And Sean Schemmel like put his foot down and was like, fuck no, we're not doing that. I get to be Goku.
uh, is he also the one that like tried to? Um, I don't remember if he was like he said something bad about Team Four Star
He
or
did.
oh,
He
shit.
was one of the very infamous moments was at a panel. Uh fuck, sorry. I got sent a passive aggressive DM by my co-host and it distracted me. What was I saying?
Um, something about getting mad at Team Four Star for being too
Oh
funny.
yeah. So he was at a panel and he was like he just like gave this speech about how like it's not about whether it's good or not. It's about how this belongs to certain people and they shouldn't be allowed to do this and like shit like that. That kind of take.
Jeez.
Which is kind of gay. And then there was there was a recent. I don't think he doubled down. I think he probably just didn't engage after this, honestly. But there a Goku impressionist did a video where they did like spoofs of like Sparking Zero opening dialogues, and they were doing a Goku impression. and their Goku impression was so good that Sean Schemmel left a like finger wagging comment about AI. He thought it was AI of him.
That's been being my algorithm. I think that video. I haven't watched it
Yeah.
yet, but some like him getting mad at AI, calling someone AI.
Fucking AI motherfucker.
It's been popping in my algorithm and lots of videos about how bad the DBZ or the Dragon Ball Z dub has been by Funimation.
Are people against the Funimation dub? I don't think they've ever.
I hate watching it a lot. I get that shit, so I wouldn't. I don't know if that's just the.
I have issues with the people. I've heard a lot of bad things about the people, but they make a good product, I would say. I've never really had any issue with their quality of voice dubbing.
I think a lot of there's a. I don't know if you've watched it. This is a long ass video about how Funimation keeps botching every Dragon Ball DVD release or Blu-ray release, and they keep
Oh
using
yeah, yeah,
these
yeah.
shitty
Not the dub
sources.
itself, but like yeah, they're fucking up the way it's fucking set up.
There's a grainy ass source of original Dragon Ball they keep using that's like makes Dragon Ball look like it came from the 1800s or whatever. And you know, like how Dragon Ball just looks like it has like kind of a filter almost, like it's airing off old TV. That's like
Yeah.
that's not an actual. That's not how it was originally aired. It's supposed to look clear as shit. Like it's supposed to look clean. The only reason it looks like that is because Funimation hasn't like gotten the original prints for the original Dragon Ball. There's a whole like video about it and stuff. I'll just
Interesting.
share with you later.
I've just heard things about like Sean Schemmel being an asshole. I've heard sexual allegations towards Chris Sabat. I don't know how accurate they are. They might just be complete hearsay, but I've heard things. I've heard that name come up in some shady allegations, and I don't know anything much else about the guy. And then there's the whole Vic Mignogna and Monica Rial situation, where like now I don't know what to think because originally I was presented with the evidence of that case, and what I was told is Vic Mignogna made sexual advances towards his coworkers, and then they said no, and then he stopped. I was like, oh, okay. Why is that a crime? But now I've heard from people that I trust things about Vic Mignogna just generally being a creepy guy, so maybe there's more to it than I originally thought. So I don't know what's going on there, but Monica Rial didn't seem like the nicest person back then, and now I don't know what to think.
Oh, I just wanted to say, Alan just got off the phone with the salon, yeah, but you're on mute right now, Alan, so you might not be able to talk.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
there you go. There he did it.
I did that. Sorry,
Oh, you did that. You're the tech whiz who knows how to unmute microphones.
Alan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
All
I just had a bunch
right.
of cats chasing me.
Oh
There
shit!
you go.
I think I've shared lots of pictures of the cats in Riley's Discord.
Very good kitties. But okay, we've successfully talked about Dragon Ball long enough to stall Alan coming back. So now we can talk about James Gunn's 2025 Superman adaptation film. So I guess like we kind of we this is a very free flowing show, almost to a fault, where we just kind of like float around random shit in the movie to talk about. Usually, I feel like we start with just general vibes, and then yeah, I forgot about the first little thing we start with, and I'm gonna make Harry Otter do this. I think I'm gonna put you on the spot because that's part of this bit is I put people on the spot and make them do it instead of me doing it. So there are two genres of podcast listeners: people who have seen the movie or people who do not care to see the movie because they know there's gonna be spoilers, so they're not listening if they're maybe gonna see the movie. So for the people who have not seen it and don't care to see it, what's like a quick and dirty paragraph about like what this film is about? What is the general plot summary of 2025 Superman, Harry Otter?
Uh, General plot summary.
Very general, like paragraph.
It's damn because it's it's hard to go into it when it starts the way it did without giving like an explanation of like Superman, or it's just like text at the beginning. But I mean, it's about a superhero that goes out of his way to, save the ones that he loves, even if it's against, you know, the country that he's supporting. It's against like their rules. It's against like the social norm to be doing what he's doing, which is basically I don't remember the freaking name of the country. It's some
They were made
Not,
up.
I believe they were called not Israel and not Palestine were the names of the
Right.
countries.
Exactly. And he wants to defend them when everyone else isn't, they're not getting any kind of support. So it's just kind of the movie where it's like I feel like it's like an underdog story in a way, just because no one wants to be on his side,
Yeah,
and
an
they just kind of
underdog story
frame it
about
like
like
that.
somebody who's just like so pure and genuine and just wants to protect everyone.
And he doesn't,
But
but he
go ahead.
doesn't understand why people don't feel the same as he does. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's like he everything is from the heart. Everything is genuine. And if I can just jump in here again, as someone who grew up on the original Superman movie and watching this one, the difference is that you really see, and again, not giving away anything, but he was truly raised in a non-judgmental, love everybody, peace, love, and happiness type of environment. He was a true Midwestern farm boy. He wasn't exposed to a lot of negativity. He wasn't exposed to the nastiness that the world really is. So he grew up with these values, and he sticks to these even though it's not popular.
Yeah, it's
He
basically it's a
still
story of like a perfect true blue Boy Scout who has like these perfect
exactly Boy Scout.
grandeur, delusions of grandeur almost about the world, but he actually has the power to enact these things, and he comes against the like political and financial insidious like establishment that we deal with in the real world, where it's like, sure, you're saving all these lives, but that's inconvenient politically for the US government, and or it's inconvenient financially to somebody like Lex Luthor, and that is the sort of system that he has to learn to come up against in this film, because he was kind of the perfect little Boy Scout superhero this whole time. Like, he never lost a battle until the beginning of the film, where we see that
Right.
he's lost the battle for the first time. So he's just like a perfect little good boy spreading his goodwill across the world, but then he does something that is not so good for political people and for financial people, and he has to come against the consequences of that, because that's the world we live in, is where those establishments exist, and those establishments have certain things in place that are actively against what's best for the world, and Superman is representing that sort of ideal.
And that's what's so incredibly ironic about the fact that, and if I can get just a little political here,
Of course.
um, all right. I
Listen,
mean,
this should be a leftist show. I've ended up with too many not leftists on the show because all the
all
leftists
right.
had better things to do. So I need
I'm
we need to get back to this being a leftist show. Here we go.
all right. So it really is so obvious when you see the right completely going off on how woke this movie was, and and the ironic thing is that this is exactly what this movie is saying about you, and it's like you're seeing it and you're not liking it because it is a mirror, but yet, so you're just going to try to destroy it because these are the people that don't believe that, they say truth, justice, and the American way, but truth and justice is not the American way anymore. and it's because of this right-wing nut job that has just been taking over this country, and you see someone who just wants to do what's the right thing. And they're saying, oh, you're woke, you're wrong, you're taking away from us billionaires, from us one percenters. And all he wants to do is help people. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I get pissed off about this, is because it's like, oh shit, you're not pushing our values, you're pushing these values. And I mean, that's it. It really is just beating your head against the wall. But that's why there's so much controversy about this movie, is because it's just a good guy who wants to do good things. And when they see Lex Luthor, they see Donald Trump, and believe it or not, that's actually how they probably see Donald Trump, as this tall, thin, young, good-looking guy who's just this genius, this evil genius who's going to save the world.
I would say
And
I would say that he looks more like the dumpy Lex Luthor from the 70s one. That'd be more
oh
like a
no,
Donald Trump. Gene Hackman.
well
I
again,
did love. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I did love Lex Luthor in this movie. Like I think it was a perfect depiction of just like what a rich like mid-20s to early 30s asshole is, and like converting that into a supervillain who has access to resources to do supervillain things. Like I think it was very well played. I didn't know I wasn't familiar with the actor. And the only other Lex Luthor I was familiar with was the Arrowverse's Lex Luthor, who was
Oh
played
shit.
by John Cryer, who is an actor I really like. So I was like, I don't know if I can like another Lex Luthor. I really liked John Cryer because I liked him already, and I think he played the role quite well. But no, this Lex Luthor, in this sort of like quirky, grounded, not grounded, but like quirky, less like grandiose DC universe, like this kind of like rich brat portrayal, I think is very good.
I think I feel the same way, just because I always go because the good portion of people that are hating on this new one are ones that like talk a lot about the Snyder version, Man of Steel, and I just kind of look at that. I look at the other like Superman movies, or particularly the '70s one, and there's just like lots of moments in the '70s one where he's doing the Superman things that like Alan was talking about, and that you see throughout the movie that they get mad about. And I think there's just something about like him doing good things, or fucking saving a squirrel, that I learned that test audiences actually hated, but James Gunn still left it in. I think it just makes people mad, just seeing like
Why is
good
everybody
things.
so salty? They think like the argument I always see is like, oh, it's like diminishing from other rescues he could be doing instead, and it's like, no, it's not, because he's already done those all. The point is that he's fucking Superman, and that he can do all this shit, and that he chooses to exert the effort even to save the smallest thing, because he's so fucking powerful and also such a nice fucking guy.
And I feel like also that at the time he'll just do the most wackiest shit imaginable, and it's like at the end, I guess without giving out spoilers, when he's using his breath, and like Mr. Terrific's like, what the? He was like dumbfounded by what he was doing at the end. It's just like crazy things like that, or like in the '70s movie when he turns back time by flying around the Earth. It's I like seeing him do that because he's supposed to be Superman. He'll do like the most wackiest, or it's something you just won't expect.
Yeah, I really like this Superman because like what I've seen of like clips from the Snyderverse, and also like what little I saw of even Superman in the Arrowverse, even though they gave him some grounded moments, but it was like, I feel like a lot of modern Superman is just like, look at me, I'm really strong and I'm gonna punch guys. Where like it seems like the spirit of Superman is like, here's this little hick country bumpkin boy who just wants everything to be safe and nice, and he also happens to have ridiculous sun-based superpowers that make him the strongest guy in the universe. And he just goes around and saves cats from trees and beats up bank robbers because he's just a nice little guy.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. And that's, in this discussion, I'm just going to come right out and say this. I do not consider Zack Snyder's Superman part of the Superman world. I didn't like any of those of his appearances. I don't know if you guys have ever discussed this, but to me, one of the worst superhero movies was Batman versus Superman. The only thing that saved it in my eyes was the appearance of Wonder Woman. Um,
Was the Flash in that movie too, or was he
No.
Justice League introduced?
he came out in the Justice League. They discussed him in uh, Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
Um,
in like a dream or some shit. I think that's about it.
There was, but also just like at the end, they were hinting at creating this team because they knew it was coming. So Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince were already discussing what was happening because someone found that old picture of Wonder Woman from the 1920s or 1900s. So it was just kind of an introduction to what was going to be coming in the Justice League.
Okay.
I think, and now again, the best part to me about the Snyder universe was Wonder Woman 1, but that wasn't even done by him. That was done by oh crap, what's her name?
Starts with a P. I forgot it too. Sorry. I think it starts with a P. Patty.
Patty something. Whatever. Anyway, I thought Wonder Woman 1 was fantastic. A lot of people didn't like the ending so much, the final battle. I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it the way a lot of people did. More than anything, because I grew up as a huge Wonder Woman fan, read the comic books before the TV series, watched the TV series very closely. I saw the original Wonder Woman movie where she was blonde and didn't have her traditional costume. I've shown it to Nick. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Riley, but it's something
some
to
obscure
check out.
stuff.
I've not seen that. No.
How much?
You really should check it out. It's she doesn't even have her superpowers. She's more of like a martial arts expert. It's interesting, but then they bring her back in like 75, I think. So when they finally put her in a movie, the first one was great. The second one was awful, and to me, between that and Justice League, that's what killed the. Is it the DCEU?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. DCEU.
So that's why I'm thrilled that they have now given this to James Gunn to reopen this universe.
I
I thought, and here I'll go. It's like, to me, one of the best superhero movies I ever saw in my entire life was the original Superman in 1977. I am now saying that this Superman movie has now replaced that as my absolute favorite. That's how great I think it is.
Yeah, that's really
Um,
cool. My one thing I do want to say about the universe, I don't know how you guys feel about this. Did you guys see The Flash?
yes.
Yeah.
So I almost, despite
I know.
unfortunately, it would have been very unethical to go forward with this actor. So the universe's fate was kind of sealed, unfortunately, by his conduct. But like, I really like the Flash in the DCEU, and I really liked the Flash movie. Like, I felt similarly to that movie that I did to this movie, where it just felt like a nice, like, fun portrayal that was true to the character, and it was a plot that both managed to emotionally captivate you at times, but also have fun with itself enough that it's entertaining. Like, I really liked The Flash. and I felt
I
bad that that universe was over right after the Flash came out. Especially because
Right.
I liked Supergirl in the Flash, and I do feel bad that she's not going to get her shot at like a
Oh,
Supergirl movie like was initially planned. But Millie Alcock seems like she's going to be great also. So
Oh God, yeah. Now I will give you this about the Flash movie. I loved the Easter eggs. I loved the throwbacks that the from the different universes. Um, I will say this, and Nick knows that this is a sensitive spot with me. I do not like time travel. I hate time travel. I also hate the fact that this was the thing I hated most about the CW series of The Flash is that no matter how many times he was told, no matter how many times he fucked up, every time he fucking went back into time, he would fuck something up, but always say, "Oh no, it'll be fine this time."
very,
And
very.
every fucking time he would destroy something, and it would create. And that's what I don't like about the Flash.
I mean, to be fair though, I can feel I can be in his shoes and be like, okay, I'm presented with what seems to be the end of the world. All of the options I would usually go to, not an option. Something's fucked about it. What do? I can go back in time. I know it fucks shit up every time, but like at the same time, we're probably all gonna die if I don't do it. So maybe this time will be different because it feels like my only option because I'm under pressure and have the ability to go back in time.
And what is the definition of insanity? When you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. He keeps going back over and over again and expects different results, but the results are always the same. I keep fucking up. And that was the thing with the movie. He kept
Not
going back in
always.
time, and
As the show goes on, I feel like it becomes more somewhat beneficial when he does it in later seasons. Like
well,
there's
that's
some
where I
sort of
kind of
slight
stopped watching
there's
it.
some sort of trip up. Yeah, I watched it probably further than most people because I don't know, I like the actors. They seem like they're having fun. It stopped being amazing, but it's still watchable for me. But like it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, usually he fucks something up, but like also it actually does do what he set out to do. So he's reaffirmed in his time travel.
I get that it gets frustrating seeing Barry run into the same like, or I guess all the flashes in some way. They're always just kind of running into the because I don't remember it. I've watched the Flash. I liked it. I didn't totally hate it. Not as much as like the internet was trying to hate it, but like the whole thing. I did watch a video that went into like what was going on at the end, where he had to like have his dad pick out a different item from the store to make it all better. It seemed just a little really convoluted and kind of silly to me. I guess
Oh,
the
you're
movie
talking about
is
the movie?
the movie
Okay.
because that was like the point where he was like he had to like change alter like the course of time was just at that grocery store.
The time
And
travel thing was a little bit the time travel was a little bit wacky in the Flash, but like I was willing to forgive it because I knew that world was over. So there was gonna be no
right.
time for it to impact anything. So it's just like, okay, they're being goofy with the Flash time travel. That's fine.
And I try
Uh,
not to let the Urza as a whatever the hell his name is sour my watch because he's just learning about all the crazy shit that was going on. It's like, what was wrong with him?
Listen, yeah, he's an unfortunate guy. I've learned the art from artist techniques. I really like Drake and Josh, so I had to learn how to separate art from artist.
Oh,
But yeah, so that universe is over, and now we have this movie, and very solid start. I feel like I was almost expecting it to be a little funnier because that seems to be like James Gunn's bread and butter superhero wise. Because like Guardians of the Galaxy is very jokey and quippy, at least from what I've seen. I don't know how jokey and quippy the third one is. I hear the
we
plot is
still
pretty
see the
sad.
third one.
Don't see the third one?
We still have to see the third one. We
Oh,
haven't
you
seen it yet.
haven't seen it. Okay.
yeah.
But Yeah, like the Guardians movies were very jokey, and like the Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn made before he became the king of DC. That movie was also very like jovial, and like not that this one wasn't, but like it felt like he was tamping it down on purpose because he's trying to do a more serious superhero universe. And I don't know if that's the move necessarily. Like I feel like this movie would be better if it was a little funnier.
I I don't know. See, the humor that I found in it was again part of that aw shucks Kansas boy
Yeah,
part of
that
Super.
stuff's great. No, that's all great.
And I also the everything with crypto. Crypto to me made the movie, because I'm such an animal lover that I loved what they did. I also love though that they did make him so sensitive. And again, this is a clip that's been out there, so I don't think I'm giving away anything. But
Oh,
when he
we're
was so
we're we're deep
concerned,
spoiler territory. We're giving away all of it. Don't worry.
all right, so when he couldn't find crypto and he was willing to turn himself into the Department of Justice just so in case he could find the dog because he was more concerned about the dog being scared and lonely. I mean, that's the humanity that they gave to Superman that was so missing in the Snyder movies that I just didn't like about him. It's they gave him this true, and I keep saying this, but it's that mid America, just nice Boy Scout. Um, he doesn't swear. He doesn't really get that angry unless it's like somebody's trying to hurt somebody he loves. Um,
Or call him super shit.
right. But then
That
he
that
would say
really
things
pisses
like
him off.
that. And that's what's funny is to see this Kansas boy reacting to this modern day world. That's where I saw the comedy. And
I feel like that stuff was more like I put it more in the category of charm than I would humor. There were
okay,
humorous moments within it, but like it was a very charming film. I loved this movie, but like if they had just like comedied it up a little bit more, I feel like that would have made it better. That's my one thing because it feels like most James Gunn superhero movies are like one joke level up from this. And I feel like that was kind of what I was expecting. What I got instead was still a great movie, but I feel like you could do all of that and also make it a little bit funnier because I feel like superhero movies should be funny. That's when they thrive for me. The ones that have like laugh out loud jokes in there because like it is like an absurdist concept of just like what if a guy was as strong as 1,000 men and just flew around and fought aliens. It's like okay, well
Quipping,
that would be kind of silly, wouldn't it?
quipping in the face of danger, knowing that they're probably going to die, but they're still making a joke
Yeah,
out of
because
it.
that to me like it feels realistic if superheroes existed, because they're just like so out of touch with reality because they're insanely superpowered. So they're just like they're fighting a bad guy who might destroy the universe, and they're just like, "Hey, idiot, who bought you that jacket?"
Yeah. I think I would have liked to see that a lot from the Justice Gang and Superman interactions because I felt like
Yeah,
there
yeah.
wasn't
I feel like if you put Guy Gardner in a little more, that would be the movie I'm looking for. Just make him a little more important.
give Nathan Fillion some more screen time, which I think
Yes.
he did deserve. I think I would have loved to see more Guy Gardner because this was Guy Gardner's first ever like live action appearance, and I would have loved to see more of him.
well, again, it wasn't a Green Lantern movie, and is what James Gunn has said is like, they're working on so many things right now for the new
Oh yeah,
DCU, that or is it DCE?
I think
DCU?
it's
I think
DCU
it's just
now.
the DCU now,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And he's already listed a bunch of things that are coming up. Supergirl is getting her own movie. That's going to be number one. Wonder Woman. They're working. They are doing another Batman movie, but it will not be in this universe. it'll be the Batman, which was with the guy from Twilight. What's his name?
Yeah.
Oh,
The Robert Pattinson. That's in
yeah,
a separate universe, and there is a Batman adjacent movie planned,
Yeah,
and
they still want to have a Batman within the new DCU.
it's a
yeah.
Robin and Nightwing movie that they're gonna
Oh shit.
do in a couple
That I
years.
cannot wait for.
So I think the idea is whoever Batman is in the DC universe is going to be an older Batman who already has like Dick Grayson and Jason Todd around. And I think the reason why they're tiptoeing around Batman and giving it that much lead time is because corporate wants the Batman to be in the DC universe, and the guy who
Oh,
is making the Batman does not. I think that's the situation. I think they're leaving the door open for Robert Pattinson to be the DC universe's Batman, but the guy who's making the Batman is like, I do not want that. I have my own vision. I
oh
do
my
not
gosh.
want my Batman to be in the DC world. And the corporates are like, yeah, but like he's Batman, so the kids want to see him fight Superman, so we're gonna make him fight Superman.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
just want to do the Batman with it, and the Penguin is a like extended of that. I think the Penguin
Yeah,
show.
that too. So like I think it's kind of an internal struggle. That's my guess as to whether or not the Batman is going to be involved within the DC universe, or if they're going to cast a separate Batman and have two Batmans on the big screen at the same time, which it doesn't seem like they think kids will understand for some reason. It's
I
not true.
I don't know if they would really be willing to do that. I mean, I think that's why they're really working to get the second the Batman out, or the Batman 2 out before James Gunn's universe. Um, but let me ask you guys this, because I really don't know. I haven't seen it. Was the original, the first one, was it successful enough to deserve a sequel?
You mean the Batman? It
Batman.
Yeah,
seemed like it was pretty successful. I didn't watch it myself, but
I
that's
haven't
because
seen it.
I've barely seen any Batman stuff. But I'm told it was very well regarded.
Okay, it's something we have to watch yet.
Yeah, I think we tried to watch it one night, and like HBO Max was fucking shit. It wasn't streaming it well, and we just stopped watching it. But
Yeah,
it was really good.
I've never really gotten into Batman. On my old movie show, we did the Tim Burton movie, and I came away from that movie being like, wow, this is a great Joker movie they made in the 1980s.
Yeah,
Like Batman meant nothing to me. It was just like, wow, Jack Nicholson is great as Joker, and the rest of this movie is very mediocre. And and then but I have seen like half, like now, not half, because I think the first season is like fucking 50 episodes or something crazy. But I've seen a decent chunk of the first season of Batman the Animated Series, and that was good. And I do need to get back into that.
so again, as someone who grew up with the original Batman series, um,
Like Adam West, you mean?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, again, this is kind of controversial. It was way controversial back then when it first came out. I did not like it. I did not like the Tim Burton version of Batman at all. Um, there were things that were just absolutely ridiculous, and
But did you like Jack Nicholson as Joker?
yes, I
Okay.
did. But here's my problem. This scene especially is the thing that really got up my craw. Is so here Batman has all of these incredible remote control and radar and all of these incredible things on his plane, on his Batmobile, and everything else. So he's flying his bat plane, and Joker's trying to poison everybody. And Batman shoots bullets for some reason, even though you know that he's not going to kill the Joker because Batman doesn't kill, but he doesn't do anything to stop the Joker with those bullets. then the Joker pulls out a gun and with one shot is able to knock down this plane out of the air that is supposed to be able to, like, be under radar. To me, that was just so fucking ridiculous. But that is, I gotta say, one of my number one biggest problems with Batman is the fact that how many people can the Joker murder before they finally stop him?
That's, I mean, people have spoofed that a lot. That's been talked about a lot. Is like
I know.
how far does the Joker have to go before you just fucking kill him? And it's like the idea is like obviously if Batman existed within a logical universe, he would have killed Joker already. But
And
it's
everyone
just
would have
like
been fine with it.
he's just so intensely. I think it's admirable to some degree that he's so intensely hooked to his oath of not killing people that even extends to somebody like the Joker. But it also becomes a conversation of, okay, when does Batman become like criminally liable for all of this death that's happening?
But this is the thing that they put on DC characters that I think they're not as strict with Marvel characters with the whole no kill thing, because
Yeah,
how many
Marvel guys
stories?
just kill people. They just fucking will ice them if they need to.
Exactly.
I mean, it depends on the hero. Like most of the X-Men will kill people, but like
Spider-Man won't kill
usually won't.
people, but everybody else will.
Right.
And Spider-Man will kill like aliens.
Right. But like, look at how many. Like, okay, so Wonder Woman kills Max Lord. There's a whole storyline about how everyone hates Wonder Woman now because she killed a criminal mastermind who was mind controlling Superman, who was going to murder thousands more people. And everyone's like, oh, boo, Wonder Woman, you killed somebody who was going to kill us. Really? And I will say this, that's the other thing I didn't like about the James Gunn movie, is when all of a sudden this report came out about his parents. He just rescued this entire city, and it's like, oh, my parents said to kill everybody. Oh, boo, we hate you now.
Yeah, that was a little silly. I feel like it should have been a little bit more subtle. Like it would have made sense.
Fast.
It would have made sense if everybody was like, "What?" Like, I don't know. Like if it confused everybody and everybody was
Some
conflicted.
skeptical people, I think.
Yeah, but everybody was just immediately like, "Fuck you, Superman!"
They listen to the news like.
No, that I didn't like, and the that's an easy trope. I don't think people would turn that quickly.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Oh Lord.
Oh no, I would what's about to say? No, I agree with you.
But I was talking about Wonder Woman killing Max Lord. Or this whole thing where people just instantly turn against superheroes so quickly. I think it's laziness when people do that. When the writers do that.
Oh yeah. That's
they need to.
Gripe about the movie too.
Now, one thing I do have to say that I was a little confused about in the beginning is when they released that about the parents doing the full thing. Still wasn't sure if they manipulated it or not.
Oh right.
But then come to find out that actually was real.
Was that their actual message?
Yeah, what it ended up being everyone believed, but the fact at the end of it, when Clark was sitting there and they wanted, something to soothe him, showing his his adoptive parents rather than his biological parents. That's the thing that actually soothed him. Was the thing that showed that, because I think that a lot of people, the people who have been adopted or people who have found out that, who they thought their parents were not their biological parents in some way. There's this mentality of like, oh, you're not my real parents, blah, blah, blah. But as someone who was raised by somebody who was not their biological parent, I loved my dad. You know, he was the one who raised me. He was the one who was there in the middle of the night when I had a fever or if I had to go to the hospital, you know? So seeing him connect and calling his parents, mom, pa, you know, Kent, as his parents rather than Jor-El and Lara.
Oh yeah, I really thought that was a satisfying ending too.
And yes,
It was really
100%.
sweet. It was really wholesome. It was a great like come around of like cuz like I do like the use of the message as a plot thread where like originally it's this kind of like innocuous thing where it's like yeah, Superman listens to this cuz he longs for his family and his home, so he just listens to this little message. And then it becomes the conflict when it's revealed that there's some insidious stuff at the end of the message that he never knew about. And through that conflict, he comes to understand himself deeply or deeper. And it has that conclusion where he knows who his real parents are now. And it's really sweet. I think it's very well done.
No, it was beautiful. And yeah, again, it was mushy, but in such a wholesome way that where Man of Steel was just dark.
I mean, I
And
love
there
to
was,
say, like, I don't even remember what Man of Steel ended on, maybe flying in the sky looking like Jesus or something. But compared to this James Gunn one just was way better.
oh yeah. Again, the connection that he has to his humanity, you know, and there, you know, you wanted an introduction of what Superman was, the new one is his connection to his humanity. He's not an alien. He's not, okay, yeah, he's an immigrant, but he was raised here with these values, you know, that good is better than evil, right is better than wrong. And these are our truths. And this is what I'm going to do, you know, is I want to hold up the ideals of what I was born with, what I was raised with, what this country is to me, what these people are to me, what this world is to me. I am an alien. I'm from a different place, but you people accepted me as your own. You know, and again, after the whole right wing nut jobs who are like, oh, this is pro immigration. Yeah, it is. And look at what immigration has done for this country.
I think what
Yeah.
I liked a lot was how he liked a punk band that a lot of people wouldn't really consider punk. The
Right.
Teddy Bears.
But again, to a Midwestern kid, that was punk. That was edgy. Was
He just wants to be cool for his fans. So he's like, I gotta get into punk rock. And he finds the least punk rock ever.
Oh, yeah, and that was
you
like
know,
a
I guess
2000s punk song.
it's like people trying to get into rap by listening to Vanilla Ice. You know, oh yeah, I listen to rap. I love Vanilla Ice. Do you know who Vanilla Ice is, Riley?
Of course I know who Vanilla
Okay, just
Ice is.
checking. Just
I forgot his real name. I used to know it. It's really stupid. Something
something
Van.
Winkle, like
Yeah, Van Winkle is really weird.
he has
Stephen
that
Van
really
Winkle.
he has that really silly movie where he's an action hero and he saves his girlfriend from spies or whatever the fuck.
Wasn't it like Cool as Ice or something like that?
Yeah, Vanilla Ice Cool as Ice was the
Oh
film.
shit! I
Yeah.
totally forgot about that. I mostly know of his movie appearance in that TMNT 2 movie from the 90s.
Oh, was he in fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, just for a musical appearance, they do the fucking ninja rap uh,
I
right
thought that
before
was
the
MC
end.
Hammer.
No, that was a Vanilla Ice. That's all who they could afford, I guess. And then they fight Super Shredder, and just he dies by getting a bridge collapsed on him.
Tragic for Super Shredder.
Oh.
All right, boys. I'm gonna go eat. I enjoyed this so
Oh,
much, but I'm gonna take my break.
Oh, hold on, wait. So me and
Oh,
Harry could keep talking if you're down, Harry, but we do wrap up questions at the end of the show, and I feel like we should at least get your answers to the wrap up
all right.
questions. So who's your favorite character in this film?
There are so many. Um, I have to say, I love the Rachel Brosnan as Lois Lane. I love the Lois Lane character because the difference between her and the original Lois Lane was that she was actually protecting herself. She wasn't waiting for Superman to constantly rescue her. She actually rescued Superman, which I loved. I loved Mr. Terrific. He was a badass. He was, get out of here. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific or Mr. Goddamn Terrific or something like that. But I have to say, my number one favorite character was Crypto. He made the movie for me.
Hell
Nice.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair as hell. What was your favorite scene?
Um, again, it was at the end when Crypto beat the crap out of Lex. That cracked me up. And Superman's like, no, drop him, Crypto, no, drop him.
That's pretty good.
I
And then
thought that was really.
finally, if you had to rate the film out of 10, what would you give it?
I have to give it a 9.5. I really do. It really has to be one of my all-time favorite superhero movies. And that's saying a lot considering that the first one was my number one. This was equal. It affected me the exact same way that the first one did, from the opening credits to the closing. When he's sitting there on the moon, holding Crypto, looking down at Earth. Oh, come on! That is just like beautiful. I loved this movie. I would definitely. I keep telling Nick I want to go see it again. I want to pay to
Yeah,
go
I'll
see
see it
it.
again.
I might. I'm considering it. I'm also considering seeing Fantastic Four. Maybe I'll
That's
do a
what I
double
really wanted to see.
feature.
I really want to see Fantastic Four really bad.
Yeah, I want to see it, but I definitely want to see Superman again.
Make it like Barbenheimer. You're doing Super Four.
Fantastic, man.
All
Uh,
right, Alan. Thank you for coming on.
All right,
Have a
guys,
thanks.
good
thanks.
one, man.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Busy guy.
Yo. He's got the diabetes, so he's got to eat some food or he'll get
Oh shit.
extremely super
Now,
cranky.
now I feel insensitive, but
Oh, no.
there's something else I was gonna say before we started having to get him out of here. I'm trying to remember. Oh,
Shit.
I feel like it would be funny, and they've kind of started doing this, but they won't all the way commit. I feel like at this point, DC is so disjointed and weird that I think that Warner Bros. Should take like every superhero property they own and just make it DC and have them all be in the crossovers. Like get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in there.
Oh,
Get fucking Ben 10 in there.
I mean, with all the collabs that they're doing already,
Yeah, get Sonic the Hedgehog in there. Just make these characters part of DC. Do like licensing contracts. Ben 10, you don't even have to license. You could just put him in there. Warner Brothers owns him.
did you ever see that old cartoon special, like where it's like a bunch of cartoon characters that help that kid that's like getting pressured into doing drugs and drinking
Yeah, the
alcohol?
the All Star
That's what I'm
anti-drug
thinking of
PSA. Yeah,
by your description.
cartoon All Stars to the rescue.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
But like, what if Ben 10 was in the DC universe? I feel like you could make that work.
You got
Superman hanging out with forearms and shit.
I think he could win in like or he definitely could fit in like the Superman universe.
Yeah, there's a lot of goofy alien shit going on in the DC universe. I could see Ben 10 hanging out. I just want to turn this into a conversation about Ben 10, I guess,
I
psychologically
wish
in my
I
mind.
watched more of Ben 10. I think I'm always like into the first season of the show, but you seem to always go beyond. Like I'm into like a few seasons of the Power Rangers or Ben 10, but you seem to have gone the full mile or seen everything.
I mean, like it was on the air when I was a kid, so like I saw it through all of its generations. Because like I watched TV for a long period of my life, and my tastes never really changed that much. So like I started watching Ben 10 when I was like 4, and it was the original Ben 10. And then as I aged, there was like Alien Force and Ultimate Alien and Omniverse, and I watched those all as they aired. At least a little bit. Omniverse not as much. But I've gone back and watched enough episodes of that I'm somewhat knowledgeable. Yeah, I'm a fiend, but I've never seen it like in order. That's I always feel like a fake fan of things because like I don't count myself as having watched something until I've watched it from beginning to end in order. And a lot of the things that I like caught on TV as a kid, and I never really watched from beginning to end in order.
I feel kind of like that too. There's lots of stuff, like a lot of the Power Rangers. I feel like a fake Power Rangers fan, but I feel like still watched a lot more Power Rangers than most other people, and I played a lot of Power Rangers video games more than probably a lot of other people.
You know, for a long
Even the
time,
really bad ones.
despite being active in the like most like nerdy possible Power Ranger spaces where we're talking about all this deep shit, for the longest time I had only seen like 5 seasons all the way through. Like it was out of the 25 that there are. Like
Jesus.
I had seen like the 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin and like Turbo and Lost Galaxy, and the rest of it I had just like caught random episodes on TV. But then a couple years ago, I got into a huge kick and just like watched most of them. There's still a couple I haven't seen, but now I've seen most of them from beginning to end.
You know why everyone hates Megaforce so much?
I have not watched that one from
Oh
beginning to
shit.
end yet, because I watched it as a kid and I felt similarly. It's just like I feel like they kind of overhate it, but I understand because it's like it's trying to attach itself to the legacy of Power Rangers, but it doesn't really care because it's just a shitty Nickelodeon kids show.
And
But that's just
there's
kind
two
of
there's Megaforce and Super Megaforce, right?
yeah, but they're basically the same show, even though they
Okay.
change suits. The super seasons are very largely like the only reason why the seasons exist is because Nickelodeon has some stupid rule where a season of television can only have 20 episodes, and Power Ranger seasons have always been like 32 at the least, but usually upper in the like 40s, 50s area. So they're making Power Rangers, and Nick's like, we're only going to give you 20 episodes. They're like, that's not enough. So we'll do Samurai, and then we'll do Super Samurai, but it's just the
I
same show.
see.
And that's the case plot wise for Megaforce, but they do actually change suits into the Gokaiger suits because it was the anniversary season and they wanted to do the cool thing where they can all turn into the other Power Rangers. But it's just like shitty kid show writing and acting, and there's not enough attention paid to the legacy that they're paying tribute to. I don't hate the end special, the Legendary War. Like I think it's pretty okay. Like I like how the cameos are done. Like it's just like it doesn't mean anything to the show overall because I don't like the cast of the show, and that's not what I'm there for. I'm just there for all the other Power Rangers who are in it for like 30 seconds each. But like it's a fun like Avengers Endgame type event for Power Rangers.
And there's a new. Are the how many Netflix series are there? Is there only like one or two? Or they're making a new one?
No, yeah, there was only a couple. They're making a show for Disney Plus now.
Oh shit, I see.
Power Rangers as we know it is over. Like the show Power Rangers that started in 1993 ended in 2023, and now they're doing a reboot, and that's going to be on Disney Plus,
Is it
and
because the
that's going to
movie
be
bombed?
well, no, it was a few years off from the movie. I think like the brand has just not performed as well as people thought it was going to for the past few years. And Hasbro is just kind of shitty, so they're like, "Well, we'll just fucking pull
Oh
the
yeah.
plug. Who cares?" So they just killed Power Rangers in cold blood. And there was another Power Rangers reboot for Netflix that the director who's making the new Karate Kid was working on. And like I know that would have been rad, at least for the fights, because I've seen footage from that new Karate Kid, and holy shit, we lost peak, folks.
Shit.
But that like fell through, and it seemed like Power Rangers was going to be dead forever.
This
But
this might sound like a dumb question, but how often do they do like their own choreography that's not from the, is it pronounced like Sentai series? Is that how you
yeah,
say it?
it's been pretty much half and half historically. I think recently they've kind of done it more and more. But now it's 100%. They have ceased their contract with Toei.
Uh,
Power Rangers now exists as a separate entity from Super Sentai. So that's why it's a reboot, because this is going to be a completely new American produced series. Well, I know they're filming it in London. I don't know where the production stems from, but I know they're filming it in London. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be quite interesting, and we're gonna be covering it as it comes out on my Power Rangers podcast. So I'm very excited to share with the people live my thoughts on what they're doing to my precious, precious child Power Rangers with this weird new reboot show.
I think that's my only like because I always just there's lots of footage of this from Super Sentai where they're just doing some amazing like acrobatics and just martial arts. Like I want to find this one clip of just a bunch of these actors just doing all this crazy shit. But like I don't know if like there's ever been like a western like like what you just said. They could have had the Karate Kid choreographer you said, and they lost him.
Yeah, the director
Oh, the director.
was the same director, and they that project fell through.
Do you know who replaced him, or do they have any idea?
The I don't know anything. I don't remember the guys' names, but I know they did the Percy Jackson show for Disney
Uh,
Plus, and now they're doing Power Rangers.
I'm curious to see what happens. Mainly because I just like to see what I guess a North American, fully North American made Power Rangers show would be like. Because I didn't totally hate the new movie. Like it may have not done that well, but like it wasn't that bad. I wish it did more successful.
It's like we've seen American footage work. Like a lot of the old shows had plenty of American footage. Like season 2 and season 3 in particular, like they were the Power Rangers had different suits than the Super Sentai Rangers had. Like they were just using the Zord footage, and they were using American shot Ranger footage with still the Mighty Morphin suits, because they didn't want to like lose the branding by changing the suits. So for the first 3 seasons, it's just the same suits, but they take the Zords from the next Sentai. So there was a lot of American shot footage in those, and like they knew how to do it. Like it wasn't as good, obviously. Like back in the, especially back in the day, and even like going forward, Super Sentai has like amazing fight choreography. So so like it is noticeable when you go from like the top brass of Toei to fucking Haim Saban. but it still works, and like the most recent season had that same setup. They decided they wanted to do like upgraded versions of the dinosaur suits that the Rangers already had, and just do the Zord footage from the next Sentai up, like they did back in the day. So that show was mostly on the ground American shot fighting, and like it works. Like they're capable of doing it. I hope it just has a little more pizzazz. It sounds like there's more professional people involved than usual, because usually the production staff of Power Rangers is the production staff of Power Rangers. You will never have heard of them from anything else, because it's a very cheap show, and they're just
Oh yeah,
paying Johnny Janitor to write episodes of Power Rangers.
yeah, that's been like these shows along with like those Suitmation shit like Godzilla. They make lots of money often because they're so cheap to make and
Yeah,
air.
and that was the thing with that's Power Rangers' whole philosophy, because like that's the genius that they seem to not value anymore about Power Rangers, is that half of your footage is there already. So it's like stupid cheap to make, because it's basically like you're making a 10-minute show, but it's actually a 20-minute show, but half of that footage is just a different show that you're dubbing over. It's genius. It saves a whole shit ton of money. And that's why it went on for as long as it did. Power Rangers has
Mhm.
almost ended like 90,000 times. Like, it was gonna end after Turbo. It was gonna end after In Space. It just like kept doing good, so they kept doing it. And then, like, as Wild Force was airing, Power Rangers was sold off to Disney, and Disney was just gonna fucking kill it and air reruns and sell toys. But then the production staff was like, "Hey, this costs like fucking pennies to make. You are losing money by not making Power
Yeah.
Rangers." And they were like, "Fine, we'll make some Power Rangers." And then even they, after a few years, were like, "We don't like this anymore. We're not going to make any more
Yeah.
Power Rangers."
I
And
feel like
then,
they definitely shouldn't be relying on Mighty Morphin for the rest of their fucking lives. They need to
is
like
it?
make new things and just try.
That's the thing though, because they did, and it didn't really work. Like there's more of a double-edged sword to that than most people give it credit for, because like it is a true science fact that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has made exponentially more money than any other Power Rangers
Shit.
property by like a massive margin. And like it just has more cultural relevance. Like it's just like it's a good bouncing off point, but they never do right by it.
I
Unfortunately, is
see
my
some video of
problem.
how hard. Like I forgot which actor it was, but it was like a Red Ranger from one of the shows, and he made a YouTube video talking about like how his like experience being a Power Ranger really wasn't that special, and he didn't really make much money at all.
Yeah, nobody makes that much money at all. Fucking now they make a little more, but like back in the day, they were getting fucked. Like Austin St. John, who played Jason, had to live in his car after he quit Power
Jesus.
Rangers. Like he couldn't have, he was making so little money that he could not save anything. And when he finally was like, "I'm done being mistreated, I'm quitting Power Rangers," he immediately then had to live in his car for a while.
When Toy Chung, Trini's voice
Tweet
actor, fucking actress,
Tweenie's actress, Tweet Trang,
and
yes.
when she passed or yeah died in the car accident, it was hard for me to believe because I was still young, pretty young at the time, and just like just the most random person just to like die.
It was interesting, right? Because like I was in the perspective of like I never existed on this planet at the same time as Tweet Trang. Tweet Trang died before I was born. But like I watched Power Rangers from like hand me down VHS tapes as a little kid, and then I just like was googling actor names on the school computer in kindergarten, and I found out Tweet Trang was dead, and I was like,
Shit,
"What the fuck?
damn, that's crazy.
Oh no, the Yellow Ranger's been dead for longer than I've been alive? What the fuck?
You've been
That's
watching these
terrible."
tapes of her, all this media of her that you've been watching, and then oh, she's dead.
She's dead and she's been dead, and it's like, wow, I didn't know that. That's so weird. That's saddening. That upsets
Yeah,
me.
it's really depressing. I mean, it was cool. Like, eventually, we got a special dedicated to her.
Yeah, man, that fucking special. I love that special so much, and I'm still
Me
annoyed
too.
that it made me cry using like what was before innocuous footage that I had already seen. Like just the way they placed it, they
All
just
that stuff at
fucking
the end.
got
Yeah,
me.
it was so sad at the end with
Yeah, they
that
put
montage.
they put the no at the maybe they set the montage to it as well, but they show the scene in the end. This is it. I know what episode it's from. I know its actual context. It is from the season 2 episode Song of Guitardo, and Tommy is about to lose his Green Ranger powers and assumedly stop being a Power Ranger forever, even though that obviously did not end up being the case, but they all thought that was going to be the case in the universe at the time. So Kim wrote Tommy a little song to like commemorate his time on the Power Rangers team, and her and Zach work together on it, and they sit down with the other Rangers, and Kim sings it for Tommy, and they put that song scene in right after like a sappy little like right after this whole movie makes you think about how sad you are that Tweet Trang and Jason David Frank are dead. You just see the original six sitting around and Kim singing this sweet little song about like friendship no matter like what paths happen in life, and it's like this is killing me. I am crying right now even though I know what this is from and I've seen it before and had no reaction to it. Just the way they placed it in context fucking got me.
Oh yeah, it was really sad. I even like a lot of the little things in it, like the random gay couple that they save. I don't know why, I just like that. It's
That's
just like
pretty
kind of
good. I hate that Bulk and Skull aren't in it. I think that's my biggest criticism.
yeah. Some people were left out. Feel kind of weird.
It's unfortunate that obviously Amy Jo Johnson wasn't in it. And Austin St. John, and extra unfortunate that Jason David Frank wasn't in it. Because what a lot of folks don't realize is that movie was done by the time Jason David Frank died. He said no to it.
Right.
And it ends up being like so sad in retrospect because it's like, oh man, that was your last chance as it turns out.
I always wonder, like, did he enjoy um a lot of his appearances in the like he was still doing Power Ranger stuff in the end or
So there's like, it's all like rumors and hearsay, so it's hard to say because I don't think he really badmouthed
yeah, I don't
companies very
believe much
outwardly.
I hear on the internet that he was bad mouthing like Power Rangers and shit in the end.
Yeah, I've heard he was badmouthing it like privately to his friends, and his friends are relaying that. So it's like grain of salt because he didn't really do it very publicly. But from what I've heard from people close to him, the and a lot of people question this. I don't even know where I heard it. I can't find my sources, so maybe it's bullshit, but it does kind of make sense given context. So what I've heard is that Jason David Frank was doing a bunch of work for Power Rangers under the promise that he was going to be given his own Green Ranger show. And then eventually it became clear that he was being taken for a ride and that Hasbro had no intention of producing this Green Ranger show. So he was like, okay, well, that's kind of shitty. I'm gonna be done with this franchise now. And that's when he did that like public statement that got reported in the news, where he was like, "I'm done covering up my tattoos for this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not doing Power Rangers anymore." And then he obviously said no to Once and Always because he was remaining steadfast to that, and then he unfortunately took his own life, and now he will never be Tommy again, and it's sad.
No, I always feel weird about this because I even feel weird about as much as I love like Godzilla and the crossover comic, like they still use his likeness and shit. So it's just like
No, I'm fine with that. That was always like
okay,
those comics were running for years while he was alive. Like it's not like his real image is that attached to the comic character. Like obviously the likeness, yeah, but like I feel like the comics kind of evolved beyond the cast. I don't think you have to stop
right.
doing the comics because he got pissed or because he died.
I would just wonder about that because I would if I was him I would have thought that something like that. I'm not trying to like like put him down for killing himself or anything, but I just think it'd be cool to like I'm in the Power Ranger comic. I think that's cool. It's all these cool things that I think would be worth living for, but I think there's a lot of complications with his wife or girlfriend. I think
Yeah,
there's some
unfortunately, like yeah, there was some real fucked
trapped
up
him, I think.
shit. Like he was in a rough like divorce. I think one of his children took their own
Oh
life.
yeah, yeah, that I totally forgot
One
about
of
that
his
too.
other children might be a pedophile,
Jesus.
from what I'm told. Like that one, I feel like I've found evidence for that one, but at the same time, I feel weird about it because it's so not documented for some reason. It was originally broken by like a YouTuber, and I think I've found like verifying sources for the cases he was talking about. But like, yeah, Jacob Frank, who like he was actually in the show. He was a baby.
Wow.
He was a baby in
Oh,
there's an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where they have to chase a baby on roller skates. He's rolling down the stroller and they have to chase him on roller skates. That was Jason David Frank's baby, Jacob Frank. And he reemerged after Jason David Frank died, and he like made a video where he's like, "Yeah, I've got this like autographed merch and shit. I'm gonna sell it and like donate it to an anti-suicide charity or something or whatever." And then some people started looking into him and were like, "There are these like criminal cases about you like touching kids." And then I think Jacob Frank just kind of disappeared out of the public eye after that. And it seems like he was up to some unfortunate things. So there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in Jason David Frank's life. So I understand, but it's a true tragic loss.
Yeah, I do. I hit you a little bit. I remember it was your profile pic for a bit, the White Ranger.
I was the White Ranger for a hot minute.
I was sad about it. I was really just seeing people like him and I always they have the same name, right? Yeah, Red Ranger and Green Ranger.
So the actor of the Green Ranger has the same name of the character of the Red Ranger.
Oh fuck, I'm all fucked up.
So Jason David Frank plays Tommy, whereas Austin St. John plays Jason.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, what I was trying to say, Austin and Jason, they was just so talented and skilled. Like I think Jason David Frank was uh like a master martial artist and even was teaching. I think they both were actually.
Yeah, they're both like very well, like very high belted martial artists, very professional in that regard. Jason David Frank, I believe, had his own. Well, I don't believe, I know he had his
Like a
own
school.
martial arts school. Yeah,
Sweet, that's so cool. If I wasn't so fat and coordinated, I would have liked to learn something like that.
the school still exists. Funnily enough, obviously you're never going to see Jason David Frank there, unfortunately. But like, I guess his boys who are running it are still running it.
That's always cool.
I miss him a lot. It's so tragic that we're never gonna see him play that character again. Cause like Tommy Oliver is a fascinating character, and it's one where like so little has been touched because like unfortunately the state of 90s live action kids shows back in the day didn't really allow for a lot of deep character exploration. So like his appearance in later stuff and then like his stuff in the comics is like we're starting to see what kind of character Tommy Oliver can be. And the fact that we're never going to see Jason David Frank really get to portray that version of the character that much is unfortunate. And I do hope that they continue to pursue visions regarding that character through comics and even through cartoons or even through live
Yeah,
action. Like I don't care. Like I've always been a big proponent for like if you have a fictional character with stories about them that you want to tell and they are played by an actor who is no longer available or who is dead, just recast them. They're a fictional character. If you can find somebody who can capture that spirit, that's all you need.
yeah, I would
It's
love.
particularly unfortunate in live action franchises, but like now that there's a reboot, there's room for a recasting of Tommy Oliver and exploring those character tropes in a different sort of way. And I'm very open to that, and I hope they pursue something.
Wasn't Jason David? Wasn't his actor? Was he in the movie, or was that just Austin?
Austin was not. Jason David Frank was for like a
Okay,
minute.
okay, yeah.
It was Jason David Frank who played Tommy, and it was Amy Jo Johnson who played Kimberly. Were in the movie for like a second. Are you talking about Once and Always? Or are you talking about like the movie?
Oh, let's talk about the movie.
Yeah. They're like 1 second cameos. I think Goldar is big, and they're like in the crowd who's going like, "Whoa, look at the big monster."
Damn, I thought for some reason I thought Austin played the Red Ranger's dad, but I'm probably remembering it wrong.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Unfortunately, that would have been pretty sick.
But I would definitely, if they're ever gonna just remake that or reboot it, I definitely would. Like you said, I would love if they just
Here's the
recasted them and still
here's a
have a Tommy
trivia
Oliver.
quiz. Here's a trivia quiz. There's one actor. They did not play the same character, but there's one actor who is in both the 2017 Power Rangers movie and the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers show. What actor is it?
You didn't just say it wasn't Jason David Frank, right?
It was not Jason David Frank.
Uh, oh, you said one character, or
Yeah, one besides Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson, there's one actor who played not the same
oh,
character, but he was in well fuck, that takes away half of the gender options that I said. He's in both the 2017 movie and in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in different roles.
fuck, I give up.
Bryan Cranston.
He was in the original? What?
Yeah, so obviously he played Zordon in the movie, but
Right.
also back in 1993, he was a shitty little anime voice actor, and a lot of the anime dubbing in America was happening at Saban. So they would get their voice actors to do Power Rangers monsters. So there are two monsters in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season 1 that are voiced by Bryan Cranston.
Oh wow, I fucking didn't know that. The only voice actors I could even name from that is Richard Horvitz, just because he was Alpha 5,
He was Alpha. He was ay
and
Rangers.
I'm a big Invader Zim, Angry Beavers fanatic. So I always thought that was cool. And I didn't even really know that for the longest. I just thought Alpha 5 was just some random silly voice.
I love Alpha 5. Shout out
Ay,
to
ay,
Alpha
ay.
5. Ay, Rangers. All right. Do we have any other specific? I feel like we didn't get into a lot of the specifics of Superman. Like,
Oh,
we didn't talk about the Justice Gang that much beyond just Guy Gardner. So there's the
Jim,
government and business is trying to subsidize superheroes because of course they are. And there's Lex Luthor's Earth Patrol or whatever, Planet Watch, the Earth Patrol,
oh, Ultra
Planet
Prime
Watch, which is like Lex Luthor's henchmen, and they're supposed to protect the Earth. And then there's another corporation who funds the Justice Gang, which is Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, played by Nathan Fillion of The Rookie and a lot of other things. Uh, there's Hawk Girl, who's played by Isabella Merced, which looking clean as usual, Isabella. Keep it up.
from Dora, her Dora role.
Yeah, from Dora. Now she's fucking an instant family, which me and Kathy reviewed way back in the day. But now she's Hawk Girl, and she's very pretty, and also she kills the president of not Israel.
That part, I was clapping, and then um,
And then there's Mr. Terrific, who that was an interesting one because like this kind of like no bullshit, like don't talk back to me version of Mr. Terrific is very different from the version of Mr. Terrific I know, because there is a Mr. Terrific is one of the main like ally characters in Arrow for a couple of seasons.
oh
And
shit,
that version of Mr. Terrific is a very like quirky nerd type, like definitely does not have the sort of like badass respect commanding tone that this Mr. Terrific does. So this is a departure from what I'm used to with Mr. Terrific, but I do appreciate this interpretation. I think he was very good.
I like him. I only really know him from he'll just kind of be a side character in like DC animated movies, like
Yeah,
like Injustice movie. He was in there. They actually replaced him with a different character, or they replaced a different character with him. But the actor that plays him, did you ever see X-Men First Class?
I did not. The only X-Men I've seen is the
Oh
first
shit.
one.
Well, he plays a mutant in X-Men First Class, and his whole power is like basically nothing can kill him, and like he demonstrates it during a scene where everyone's just demonstrating their powers, but they finally get to like their first fight, and he's killed off so fast, and it's like, wow, your power didn't even save you. You don't have to. You could probably find a clip of it somewhere. It's so funny, but he was actually mad about that role from X Men First Class, and James Gunn picked him for this role to kind of like to have a better shot at just being portrayed as a superhero.
Yeah, being a good superhero. That's fair.
Like if you ever get a chance to like watch X Men First Class, do you even like the X Men that much?
No, I've really kind of just started to get into X-Men as a thing. Like it never really attracted me as a younger and then I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, obviously, because I'm big into Deadpool and had been waiting for the third one for quite the amount of time. And I watched it and I enjoyed Wolverine, and some of the like flashbacks and stuff I saw made me vaguely interested. And I watched the first X-Men and I liked it, but then it's been a while since I've tapped back into that well. I am interested.
if anything, I really want to watch X-Men '97. Still, I think we watched one episode of that and we liked it, but there's like 2 seasons, and I think they're making a third season.
I haven't watched that. I haven't seen any of the animated X-Men
Oh,
stuff.
for real? You never watched the old animated?
I'm told there's
90s
one where
X-Men?
it's like high school X-Men, and I am a high school
Oh,
superhero fan, famously, so maybe I'll have to watch that one.
I forget what that one's called.
I just
I know.
like when it comes to like age of superhero, like age of characters I watch in general, like I have a hard time relating to like little kids. Like people try to get me into like shows or movies that have like main characters who are like little kids. I'm like I can't really get into this. Like the Malcolm in the Middle, I think finally broke that for me. I was able to get into Malcolm in the Middle, even though it was a bunch of little boys because they were actually good actors, and the writing was really good. But I have a hard time relating to like really young characters generally, and I also have a hard time relating to fucking old farts. I don't want to watch a story about a fucking 40-year-old man. I don't give a shit. I think the soft spot for me is like 16 to 24 for superheroes. That's the perfect zone of age for a superhero cuz like just like young adult struggles like in high school and like the early years beyond and being balanced with superheroing I think is like the best kind of superhero story
But
for me
you've always
personally.
liked Spider-Man,
Yeah, I'm a big Spider-Man man.
even if he's emo dancing or
Especially if he's emo
getting
dancing.
his
Come on.
friend killed.
I
I
actually have not
watched,
seen Spider-Man 3, funnily
uh,
enough. There's a few Spider-Man movies I have not seen. It's Spider-Man 3. I have not seen either Amazing Spider-Man.
me neither. I haven't seen any of the Andrew Garfield ones. I
I've
keep
not.
meaning to. I don't know what's wrong. I just can't.
I really liked him in No Way Home. In fact, I think I said he was my favorite character in No Way Home. Like he was very well portrayed. But I still have yet to check out those movies. I probably will some point soon. And then I haven't seen Spider-Man 3, like I said, and I also have not seen Across the Spider-Verse. And I think those are the only Spider-Man movies I have not seen.
Yeah, I still need to see the. That's the second one, or is that the first one? Across the Spider-Verse?
That's the second one. I've seen the first
Okay,
one.
yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet.
I started the second one and then I had to go somewhere and I forgot about it, and that was like a year and a half ago. So so I gotta watch that at some point.
Do you think you'll ever reach superhero fatigue? Do you ever think it'll be just too much? The shit you're watching. I sometimes wonder
No,
with myself, like, is there too much fucking superhero shit?
I mean, I'm into it. Like people talk about superhero fatigue, and I'm like, I don't know the meaning of the word. Like, this is the type of media I enjoy, where like a guy is punching another guy, and there's a bunch of deep, complex character reasons behind it. Like that's all the content I need. I need intriguing characters punching each other and doing so for emotionally significant reasons. That's the type of content I enjoy.
That's good. What if it's something like Sky High?
That shit's great. I love like
Nice. I'm glad you like that.
yeah, I love like quirky young. That's the other thing is like a lot of teenage superhero stories kind of do like the quirky, inexperienced type of thing, and that leads to different plot lines, and I enjoy that angle as well. Like there's an episode of maybe I'll get back to that podcast someday. There's a podcast that I had a very short lifespan where me and Crow Royalty were reviewing Ultimate Spider-Man, which is the 2012 or
Oh yeah, I think I've
2012
listened to 1 or 2 episodes of
the
it.
2012 Spider-Man cartoon where Drake Bell voiced Spider-Man, and it was on Disney XD. And the premise was it wasn't like a normal Spider-Man show. It was like it was a Marvel fucking action figure showcase show, basically, where it was like Spider-Man joins Shield and has to join like a team of teenage superheroes, and they fight like Marvel supervillains, and sometimes a Marvel superhero will show up and they'll be like, "Whoa, it's Captain America," and like Spider-Man talks to the camera like he Zach Morris's
Oh wow.
and there'll be like cartoon gags and shit. It's a very strange show. But one of the early episodes that we watched for the show, I don't think the podcast ever came out because I think we lost one, and this was the one. But there's an episode where Spider-Man has just joined Shield. He's just teamed up with this group of like teenage superheroes that all are like dysfunctional and are mean to each other, and they're like, shit, Shield doesn't respect us. What should we do? And fucking Nova, who's one of them, is like, what if we go on Shield's most wanted list and we try to catch one of them? And the one they pull up is fucking Doctor Doom. And they're like, yeah, we could go catch Doctor Doom. So they go to fucking Doomvania or whatever the fuck.
Oh,
And they fight Doctor Doom and they capture him successfully. But then they bring him to the ship and they're like, hey, Nick Fury, check it out. We caught Doctor Doom. And he's like, idiots. No, you didn't. If you caught Doctor Doom, you were supposed to catch Doctor Doom. This is a trap. And then it is a trap.
I never watched it. I might check it out.
But it was really cool because it was like these like quirky kids kind of like teaming up and like learning to work together, and like they do kind of like bond through capture, quote unquote, capturing Doctor Doom, and then everything goes wrong and it's a trap and they have to work to like stop it from crashing the ship and killing them all, and they kind of reaffirm their teamwork through that process. Like it's a fun episode. It was good. I liked it.
I totally get what you mean. You know, when I don't like it when they make Spider-Man too young because I think they've made him like I think the Far From Home one or that actor. He was supposed to be just the youngest portrayal of Spider-Man.
Yeah, because like usually I don't know what they did for Andrew Garfield, but I know for like for the original one, he was supposed to be like 18 at the start because he's like
Yeah,
at the end of high school and then he graduates in Spider-Man 2. Whereas Tom Holland, I think, is supposed to be in like his junior year when we first meet him, and he goes through his last couple of years of high school and then he graduates at the end of this last one, I think.
yeah. I wasn't too much into that one.
I really like the Tom Holland movies.
I know.
That's what got me into character, honestly. Like I was not interested in Spider-Man as a kid. Again, it was part of that same. I was more interested in the Power Rangers and Goku. But then I saw Infinity War because everybody in school when I was like 13 or whatever were like, "Oh my god, bro, Avengers
Oh
Infinity
shit.
War. Holy shit." So I was like, "Okay, I'll go see
Was it
Avengers
was it
Infinity
hype for
War."
kids in school? Because obviously I'm a fucking adult. I don't know how like the hype was for everyone for those movies.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you weren't in school back then because I'm young and you're old. But yeah, everybody was super hyped.
I like Marvel and DC, but I've always loved DC way more, so I just don't pay attention to Marvel that much. And after like Iron Man 3, I just didn't really care that much. I mean, I think I saw a Captain America in the theaters, but then I just fell off of the plot
You know,
leading
and
to
the
Endgame.
the mania behind Infinity War and Endgame was unmatched. Like it's kind of it's tragic to see how far the MCU has fallen since then, because like it was huge. Like people were freaking out about Infinity War and Endgame. But like yeah, I remember everybody was talking about Infinity War, and I was like, yeah, okay. I had seen the original Avengers movie, and that was basically it. I don't remember if I had seen any of the other MCU
Oh, you
movies.
just went in straight without seeing anything else.
Yeah, so I just went
Oh, that's
straight
cool.
into Infinity War, and I still enjoyed it a lot, and like it got me interested in these characters, and particularly Spider-Man. Like Tom Holland won my fucking heart. I was like, oh my god, I need to see all of his movies immediately. And then I watched all of his movies, and they were great. And then I started watching other Spider-Man stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is great too. And now I'm a Spider-Man super autist.
You should look into the Spider-Man manga sometimes. Or you should check the Spider-Man manga that it was like released in the 80s or 90s, early 90s, but it was like Japan's only like source of Spider-Man for the longest. So it's
Well, I know. Well, they
it's
had. I
interesting.
know there's a show in the '70s that was made by the same people who were making Super Sentai. Do you know about that show? You know about
Vaguely,
Spider-Man?
I think I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was like this
Oh,
really
yeah, I don't know what you mean now. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
seeing like gifs and clips of it.
this goofy 70s live action Spider-Man show that's only Spider-Man in name and costume. It's about this like Japanese man who like is chosen by an alien from the spider planet
Oh my
to
god.
become Spider-Man and pilot a giant robot named Leopardon. And the funny thing about Leopardon is at some point somebody stole the Leopardon suit and they never figured out who did it or why. And for like the last half of Spider-Man, all of the monster fights with the giant robot are just stock footage of the giant robot attacking and then footage of the monster going ah.
Oh god. I love there's so much old media where they just reuse clips like that. There's a Godzilla movie where like 60% of the movie is like reused stock footage.
That was a problem in Power Rangers during season 2 where at first the problem was they so they got new footage for the show. Like they literally before they decided to do American footage, they commissioned more like Jew Ranger footage that was filmed by Toei just for Saban.
Oh shit.
It was contracted for Toei to film it, so it was like the same film crew and the same costumes and everything as Jew Ranger, but it was filmed for America. And they got all of that, and they finished season 1, and then it got time to do season 2. And they knew at some point in season 2 they were going to switch to the Die Ranger Zords, and that was going to be like the new Zords. But at some point in the writers' room, they're like, "But the kids want a new Megazord now. We don't want them to wait for the new Megazord. They want it now. But we have all this Jew 2, as the fandom calls it, Jew 2. We have all this Jew 2 footage that we still haven't used that has Megazord in it." So their solution was to take the Jew 2 footage and just let the same exact technique as what I just described with Leopardon. It's just the Thunder Megazord attacks the monster from the Jew 2 footage goes like, "Ow, I've been attacked." And then the Thunder Megazord kills him with his Thunder Sword, and they never the two will actually meet on screen. And the only movie magic that made it work a little bit is they kept the Green Ranger around and the Dragon Zord was in the footage, so you got to see the Dragon Zord fight the monster, but but
Oh
the Thunder
shit.
Megazord would not actually fight the monster, and it was very strange. And then once they burned through the Ju2 footage and started using Die Ranger footage, for a lot of the monsters, Toei just did not send them the costumes. So then for a lot of later season 2, before they get in the Zords, it's just the Rangers fighting putties and the monster going, ah! And then they only actually fight the monster once it's Zord time.
Oh, I'm good look at all that. I've been wanting to rewatch the old series because I vaguely remember watching it entirely, but like a lot of the later stuff in the seasons, I just don't remember. But a lot of the early stuff I do, especially
It
the first
gets
season.
I like the later stuff personally, probably a lot for nostalgia reasons. Like I think a lot of the appeal of the show to me was the unmorphed martial arts. And like once like Austin St. John was a great martial artist, but Walter Jones and Chi Trang, they were also good, but they weren't as flashy. Like flashy martial arts, I think, is what kept me going. And once Steve Cardenas and Johnny Young Bosch joined the cast, that like increased tenfold because they're very like showy uh martial artists, like the same way Jason David Frank is. Like it was like having two more Tommies when it came to the unmorphed fights, having Rocky and Adam. But yeah, so that's why I like the later stuff. And then like season 3 was the first time they tried to do a story. Like season 1 and season 2 kind of has a story that like comes up every once in a while, but season 3 was their first real go at like having an ongoing narrative that reverberated throughout the season. And it was really good mostly, like especially because so Kimberly of course leaves at some point in that season and she is replaced by Kat, But prior to her exit, the show is just about her in season 3 for most of it. Like it just becomes the Kimberly show, guest starring the Power Rangers. And it works to its benefit because Amy Jo Johnson is a way better actor than her co-stars. Like in terms of like acting talent and like actually selling emotion and lines, like she runs circles around 99.9% of Power Rangers. So, so when the emotional plot of the show became about Kimberly, it was like, wow, this is like a really good show all of a sudden.
And that led into the Alien Rangers, in it, in the third season.
Yeah, so the Alien Rangers have, because eventually Amy Jo Johnson leaves the show, gets replaced by Kat. It kind of becomes more of a, the show is about like Master Vile now. It's about the villain, and it's actually about fighting and stuff. And then they do the plan where, so it's interesting because the way the episodes are listed is kind of different depending on where you look. Some people include Alien Rangers as part of season 3. I fall into that camp, but a lot of like media releases will separate it as its own season, the Alien Rangers stuff. And if you do it that way, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a 3-year long show that millions of children fell in love with, ends with the bad guys winning.
Oh shit!
Like, well, it actually does either way, but it ends with the bad guys like the Power Rangers are kids and there's nothing they can do. And it's just like, oh, that's the end of Power Rangers. And then it's Alien Rangers, which is they call the Power Rangers from a different planet. It was weird. It was experimental.
I do remember
Uh,
what like as it was airing. That was a I was actually into that because I do remember getting into Power Rangers Zeo as well. So I had to have been still into the series during that
Zeo is great.
point.
Zeo season 3 walked so that Zeo could run. Like Zeo is like the magnum opus of that era.
Everything looks way better.
Yeah, like I think O Ranger was just a really well produced Sentai, evidently, because like a lot of the Japanese footage is very good, and also just like the character stuff. Like I like that cast. That was my thing. Is like I've come to appreciate the original cast more, but like I always liked the dynamic between like Rocky and Adam and Tommy, and I like Kim more than Kat, and I like Aisha more than Tanya. But like I've come to accept Kat and Tanya, and then Jason's there too for a while, and he's cool. So like I like that cast a lot, and I think they have good character moments. Like a lot of my favorite Power Rangers episodes are just like the silly, down to earth, fillery ones. And there's one in Zeo where Tommy and Kat have to do like a project for class. Like that sitcom trope where you have to raise like a plastic baby.
Yeah.
So Tommy and Kat get assigned with a project like that. But Kat decides that she wants it to be more realistic, and she volunteers to like babysit her cousin's baby for the weekend. So they babysit a real baby.
Oh jeez.
And there's just a lot of good banter as like Tommy shows up to the school. Adam, Rocky, and Tanya are already there, and they're like teasing him about like how he's fake married to Kat, and then then the baby comes in and everybody's like, oh my god, and Tommy's like, holy shit, oh my, like he's face palming but he can't say anything because he doesn't want to make Kat upset. And then like the baby starts crying, and Adam, Rocky, and Tanya like give obviously bullshit excuses for leaving and then fucking sprint away. It's fun. I love, again, high school superheroes. Like it's just like a group of teens having a fun time, and then an evil robot overlord tries to kill them in some elaborate way, and they have to stop it with their superpowers. It's great.
Are you into the Super Sentai just as much? Would you say, or
I'm getting into it. I've always tried to watch it, and I've always had trouble finishing seasons. Like I'll watch like half of a Sentai and then I'll drop it. But more recently, I did watch Hurricaneger all the way through, which is the Sentai that became Power Rangers Ninja Storm, and that show is great. That's maybe one of the best shows I've ever seen. Hurricaneger was a beautiful experience from beginning to end. Absolutely would recommend to anybody who is willing to read subtitles and watch a show. Very good. And I've also been keeping up with the current Sentai, number one Sentai Go Jujer, and that's been very fun so far. Much more Power Rangers. No, Hurricaneger was Power Rangers Z too, but like Go Jujer's a little goofy. Like it's Power Rangers Z in the wrong ways almost, where like it's kind of hard to follow what's going on and the characters are kind of like overly quirky, but like I still like it a lot. And it's been interesting to follow, and there's still like 25 episodes left or whatever, so we'll see where it goes, but it's they're very dysfunctional 20 somethings. These rangers, these go-jugers.
Is it very Japanese too?
It's pretty Japanese. You got to kind of surrender yourself to some of the Japanese stuff. Like there's a whole episode about like festivals and how you like worship gods at festivals.
Oh
And
shit.
it's like, okay, I just have to accept that that's how this works.
Yeah, it's weird. Japanese culture is always just crazy because everyone comes from like different villages and shit, or just and they all kind of have their own like different um like traditions or manual. So that's why it's like it feels so confusing when you're watching these shows because you don't know what they're talking about because it's just it's their culture.
Yeah, it's like you can kind of surrender yourself to like you don't have to know about it prior to understand it.
Right.
If you're smart enough, it's just like, okay, this is the situation. I'm willing to
But
suspend my disbelief. It's as if it's a fictional world,
Mhm.
but it's real. It's like, oh, okay, so the culture in this fantasy land called Japan is
Well, these crazy gods. I don't know if there's anything like that here. We have carnivals.
we don't worship gods at
Right,
them.
right. Unless it's like a cult.
Well, a
Right?
lot of carnivals are run by like Christians and Catholic
I was about to say.
organizations. Yeah. So maybe it is a little bit.
Japanese just
Anyway,
seem cooler for some reason.
did we have any other specific stuff about Superman before we do our wrap up questions and get out of here? We've gone in a lot of
I was
different
gonna say we
directions.
always go crazy with Power Rangers. No, I don't have anything else. I'm ready. I'm pretty hungry, so we can do the wrap up questions.
Okay. Who's your favorite character in this film?
Oh, super shit. Um, dang, I knew what I was gonna say, and now I forgot. I don't want to give the obvious answer of Superman. Seems lame. Um, but I'm gonna have to go with that because I'm gonna say Crypto, and that's my husband's answer. So I'm just gonna go with Superman. I think. I think it for. I don't think you. I don't think you saw Man of Steel. I think that's what you said, and
I did
it's
not
just.
know.
It's just a breath of fresh air to have a Superman that's traditional and isn't trying to be edgy or have fucking weird um, outlooks on life, or they're trying to make him some kind of uh, allegory for Jesus because they do that a lot in the older movies. So I just really like this Superman that they brought.
That's fair. Yeah, I did not get into the old movies. The only ones I've seen are I saw the original bad Suicide Squad, not the new good one, the old bad
So Will
one,
Smith,
and I saw The Flash. Those are the movies I've seen in that universe.
shit. Not even Wonder Woman.
Uh,
You never even saw Wonder Woman?
I never saw Wonder Woman. I kind of saw Shazam, but I wasn't
Oh,
really watching. It was like movie night at my friend's house, and I was just kind of walking around the house and eating snacks and fucking around, and I wasn't really paying attention to the movie.
oh, it's good. We saw it in the theaters. We liked it. Just that actor's kind of an asshole now.
Yeah, I've heard. I've heard he's not a nice guy. But my favorite character. I'm tempted to say Eve. I'm almost tempted. We didn't bring her up at all. which is a crime because she's perfect and Jimmy Olsen is an idiot.
Well, it was making me mad
Jimmy
when
Olsen is a fool. Jimmy Olsen doesn't know what he's taken off the table. Who cares about our fucking shrimp toes? I'm a well documented foot guy, but I could never look at a foot again if it meant being with Eve, bro. Fucking get your priorities in order.
it was making me mad. It was making everyone in the theater mad when he was on the phone with her because he was
People were
being
like
so
groaning as he was like gaslighting her.
right. Everyone in the theater was like, just,
You know, Eve is a national treasure and she deserves the world. But she's not quite important enough to the movie that I'd feel satisfied giving that answer. So instead, I'm gonna say Superman and be lame. Like, I like a Superman. He's just again, he's this like sweet little Boy Scout who has to become acquainted with the real world real fucking quick. And I think it's a well told story. I like his chemistry with Lois, who was also a temptation because she is very well acted and very charming. But overall, I think this is another movie where it does its main character justice. I'm gonna give it to Superman.
oh, nice. If you like Lois, you definitely should check out Marvelous Miss Maisel. She's a star in that, and it's a really good show.
Okay,
If
maybe
you
I
like
will.
Amazon shows,
Do I like Amazon shows? I guess one.
you like
Invincible.
Invincible. I forgot if you like that or not.
Even that one I haven't seen more than the first season.
Is that a young
But
adult? Would you say that's a young adult superhero you like?
oh yeah, I really liked what I saw of Invincible. I just haven't been incensed to watch further seasons, but I really liked that first season, and I like Mark Grayson as a young adult superhero character. But favorite scene, Harry Otter.
Um, it'd be either between. Well, my go-to scene would be the scenes with the fucking troll monkeys. I don't know why that was making me laugh my ass off seeing the troll
Super shit.
monkeys rage and shit on the computer. Uh, but other than that, like the scene at the end, it was just really it was a good ending, a good scene to like kind of end on. So definitely just seeing him feeling comforted, looking at his actual or his adoptive parents was heartwarming. So I really like that at the end.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
I wish I could say there were cooler scenes like fighting scenes, but I think that's probably was kind of a weak point. Was I didn't see any fights that really wowed me because the fights that I would have liked to see they were kind of putting off as jokes, like when that big thing in the background that was fighting when Lois and Clark were talking to each other in the apartment, and the Justice Gang were like fucking with. Like that would have been cool to see up close, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. Man, I love I didn't mention this. Big honorable mention to Green Lantern for favorite character. Like I love Nathan Fillion is just a good actor as it
Yeah.
turns out. That's what a lot of people are realizing. People on Twitter were like, "Man, I really didn't think Rookie Man was going to sell me, but it turns out he's a lot more than just the guy from Rookie."
Yeah, some more people
uh
hating on the bowl cut than anything.
And yeah, I thought he was just I thought he was just the guy from Rookie and had a bowl cut, but no, he's a little better than that. And I hope that because Guy Gardner, I'm told, is kind of a bit Green Lantern. So like I hope that the popularity of this version of the character is going to push them to kind of set that aside for a bit because like I would like this to continue to be our Green Lantern. Like I don't know who they're gonna cast as Hal Jordan or what angle they're gonna take with that, or if they do John whatever or Jessica whatever, all those other Green Lanterns that it could be. I'd like to see Guy Gardner stick around for a while because I think Nathan Fillion's portrayal of the character is very good and has potential to be good in the universe.
I like that. I think that's a good point, especially Hal Jordan already had his shot, and that kind of Ryan Reynolds doesn't look too fondly on that.
It'd be funny if they just brought him back.
I think I read somewhere that originally, and if they were going to continue the Snyderverse movies, they were going to bring back like a bunch of shit like that. They were going to try to bring back Green Lantern into a Justice League 2 movie.
I mean, like, how much does I assume that Ryan Reynolds has some level of respect for James Gunn? They seem very compatible as people. I just assume that, and if that's the case, maybe he'd be willing to be like, okay, maybe you'll make a good Green Lantern movie, and I could be a good Hal Jordan. But then again, he kind of wants to spend time with his family. It seems like he's kind of getting sick of doing movies at all times. So
Yeah, especially if they don't know if it's gonna do well or not. I feel like some of these people get so excited to be comic book heroes, and if the movies don't perform well, it's just like, okay, what the fuck did I just do? I
well,
thought
not
people
well for
liked
Ryan
these
Reynolds,
movies.
they did perform well, and he's like, if I do another one of these, my children will grow up, and I won't be there for it.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is a shame. I wish they gave him, because like there could be a whole fucking franchise of Deadpool movies if they had given him what he wanted when he wanted it. Because like when he was Deadpool fucking 8 years prior in that shitty movie where he wasn't
Oh
really
yeah,
Deadpool, if they
Wolverine.
just made him the real Deadpool then, we would have so much good Deadpool.
They just let them have like creative control or some shit.
Or at least like be comic accurate. Like even if there was somebody else like writing the movie, if Ryan Reynolds got to put his charm and love for the character into it, and somebody was making the movie who knew about the character of Deadpool and was writing him in a way he would be written, that would have been some good shit.
Or got one look at the costume for Deadpool, and he had like blades on his coming out of his arms. He looked nothing like Deadpool.
Yeah,
He
that
had
was
no
so
shirt.
stupid. Yeah. But my favorite scene in the movie is the Supergirl scene. Like that worked on me. I'm very excited for the Supergirl movie. Like another thing that I really like is female superheroes. They're just like more fun, I feel like. And sometimes a lot more badass. And I was definitely sold on this like messy drunk 20 something who's Supergirl. I'm like, yeah, I want to see the movie where she somehow has to figure out how to save the world. That seems like it'll be fun.
Did you enjoy
she
Captain Marvel?
I did. I loved Captain Marvel. That's one of my unpopular opinions is that I really did
That's
like
something that
Captain
I'm gonna
Marvel.
watch.
I even liked the Marvels,
Oh shit!
the new one. It helped that I really liked Miss Marvel, the TV show.
Would you consider
Um,
yourself a simp? I'm just
maybe.
kidding.
But yeah, no, those movies were fun. Um, and yeah, I'm very excited. I liked this like messy portrayal. Why'd you move the door? I didn't move the door, Kara. Where's my dog? And I
That was
liked the
something.
I liked the whispering between Superman and the robot where they're like, she just doesn't train him. She doesn't teach him any obedience as he's like throwing her around the room.
Like
And then
Crypto just jumping on her.
of course the iconic Queen girl boss moment where she just flips off Superman and walks out and says, "Thanks for watching him, bitch."
Oh yeah, that's great. He's like, oh, that girl.
I'm so ready for Supergirl the movie.
Surprised it's coming out so soon. Shit.
Unfortunately, it doesn't feel soon enough. I feel like they used to advertise movies like right before they came out and they would come out more often. I don't know if I'm just gaslighting myself, but it seems like waiting for movies has become a longer process.
At the end of Superman from the '70s, right at the end of the credits, it says that the get ready for Superman 2 next year. So it's been around for a bit, like hyping up movies at the end of the movie.
That's fair.
I kind of thought it started with like Nick Fury. I thought he was like the very first to tease movies, like the Avengers Initiative. Get ready, bitch.
But like you didn't quite know what the movie was going to be for a while. It was
Yeah,
more like it was more amorphous of a preview where like something is coming. Where like now we know like this movie is coming out in 2 years. Get hyped. And it's like, wow, I am hyped. So hyped, in fact, that it kind of really upsets me that I have to wait 2 years for this. But regardless, yeah, that's my favorite scene. When it comes to rating it out of 10, I feel like I look back on it in my mind and it gets better and better. That's the thing about this movie. is like I watched it and I was like, that was pretty good. Like I watched it and in my mind I'm like, that was pretty good, but I feel like it didn't really wow me in any way. Like 7.5 was the initial score I had in my head. And then I've thought about it more and I'm like, no, I feel like I didn't really appreciate this part and this part. And the score has just crawled up and I've become more, as I've seen more people talk about it too, I think it just like jiggered up my mood. And I was like, I really like this, and it kind of just increased. I'm now willing to give this film a 9 out of 10.
Oh shit,
Uh,
nice.
Very fun, very enjoyable. I feel like it's kind of missing a certain je ne sais quoi, as it were, to be a 10 out of 10. But I feel like a sequel or maybe even Supergirl could cross that line pretty easily if they take this framework and push it just a little bit further. So yeah, very good movie. 9 out of 10. What about you?
Um, about the same. I feel like I need to rewatch it one more time and give like a final score after that. But definitely would give it a high rating as well. I give it more of a 8.5. Uh, I think I mentioned it. I was hoping for a little bit more better action from like all of the heroes, not just Superman. But I do feel like it did keep me like within the story, and nothing ever felt boring to me. Nothing felt too slow, even when they were at the Kents for a bit.
Yeah, I think it
That
was
did.
well paced, and I think all of the meandering that it does is very purposeful meandering. You got to have
And
some meandering. The meandering is sometimes my favorite part. Like in a superhero movie, that's a balance you have to find where like the general audience is there to watch Superman punch the bad guy, but like the people who really appreciate it want to see like Clark Kent's budding relationship with Lois Lane and how it affects Jimmy Olsen and their job at the Daily whatever the fuck. But none of the general audience wants to see that, so they have to strike a balance of we do enough of this that it's satisfying, but we can only do so much of it because we only have so much time. So you got to do some meandering, and I feel
oh yeah,
like all the meandering was well done and purposeful here, and they gave us enough of it that I was satisfied.
I also I kind of hope more superheroes movies do this, or any movie that's based off like some IP where they just explain everything right at the beginning and just sit like a few paragraphs. Like I didn't mind that. Uh, the Red Letter Media guy said he didn't mind it either, but he didn't like how you don't really learn anything about Lex. Lex is just kind of evil from the spot. Nothing. No, there was no explanation for him, but I
Yeah,
didn't. Everything was just explained at the beginning like that.
I feel like an origin story. The thing about movies is they're so expensive and so grandiose that you don't want to like waste any time. I feel like origin stories are always some of the most fun stories in a superhero's repertoire because, like, you always want to make your first thing captivating. So usually, if there's a good writer writing a comic book, the first issue is going to be like iconic and memorable. And it's like I do kind of want to see like a new interpretation of the beginning of this hero because the thing is people say it's overdone, but like I wasn't into those heroes as a kid, so I haven't seen it
Right.
as many times. So I'm like, no, I actually would like to see how Spider-Man starts in a fun new way. But they're like, no, we've done it too much. He's just already Spider-Man. Go. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I guess. So like, I don't mind that they did it here because like I think they set up the core values of Superman in a way that like there's kind of like the vague cartoon pilot method where like it's in its context it's like any other episode, but they like put more attention to some of the tropes and like explain them to you in ways that will stick with you in your mind. And it's like you can tell it's the pilot even though it's not an origin story. And I feel like the movie takes that kind of approach and I think it does it well enough.
Well, that's good. You like Miles Morales, didn't you? When they just take a completely new character and just kind of redo everything.
Yeah, I'm of two minds about that. I enjoy Miles Morales as his own character. It's just the unfortunate problem with that is like the slow kind of back and forth cannibalization
Yeah.
that Miles Morales tries to do to Peter Parker that kind of goes back and forth, where it's like they are different characters, and I appreciate the subtle differences in those characters. And even though I enjoy them both as superheroes, I prefer Peter Parker. And when a lot of the Spider-Man media becomes Peter Parker steps down so that Miles Morales can be cool, I'm like, this annoys me actually.
That makes sense. It actually made me confused watching Spider-Verse the first time because it's like, how am I supposed to take this? Is this Peter Parker supposed to be a different Peter Parker? And all of a sudden, he just gets fucking jobbered by Kingpin by getting punched really hard, I guess. It just felt kind of weird just having Peter die like that and then Miles takes over.
Yeah, like it almost feels disrespectful to the character. But then in the same movie, you have Peter B. Parker, who is one of the most beautiful Peter Parker stories ever told. So he kind of
Yeah, I
take
actually
and
really like
give
the movie.
when it comes to Spider Verse. I wish they would do more spectacular Spider-Man. That's all I want. You ever seen that one?
That's not the one on Disney Plus, is it?
No, that one's pretty good too. That's Spider-Man freshman year, I think.
Oh shit. Okay, that's the newest one.
Yeah. Or no, it's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is the name of it now. It was gonna be Spider-Man freshman year. They changed it. It's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That show was also very good. I liked that one. But Spectacular Spider-Man was on like the CW in 2007,
Oh, he had
and
webs under his arms.
yeah, he had the web wings, and he was
Oh
voiced
yeah.
by Josh Keaton. Fucking the best Spider-Man story ever told, I feel like, and it ends on a semi cliffhanger. Like it's like they end it satisfyingly, but there are still threads left to be tied. And now they will never be tied because it's caught in like a fucking rights nightmare where now Sony makes Spider-Man movies and Marvel makes Spider-Man cartoons, and they have a contract deal where Marvel can make some Spider-Man movies and put him in the big Marvel universe because that makes them money. But separate from that,
So weird.
any live action Spider-Man stuff is under Sony, and any cartoon Spider-Man stuff is under Marvel because of the deal that they signed around the time of Spectacular Spider-Man. But the show Spectacular Spider-Man in specific is still owned by Sony. So Marvel can't just do it without Sony being involved. So it's a big clusterfuck where like if they ever reboot an old Spider-Man cartoon, it's probably going to be the 90s one cuz Spectacular is caught up in fucking rights hell. But there is a big cult following, and Josh Keaton has made it very known that he is interested in playing Spider-Man again.
It
So
looks way better than the '90s one. The '90s one, I think, is overrated. But
Spectacular is like really well done. Spectacular was one of those like I talked about this like the early to late 2000s kind of action cartoons where like they started to take a little bit of influence from anime and started to flirt with like actual like character development and emotional drama and like well kept stories. And like there are a lot of great shows from that era like Teen Titans, Ben 10. And I think Spectacular Spider-Man is that for Spider-Man, and it's fucking amazing.
it's a lot better than what I ever give credit for. Because I was exposed to the '90s one for the longest, and I don't look back on that too fondly. There's a lot of '90s shit I think is overrated, except Batman the Animated Series. That is actually a goated show. It's actually one
Yeah,
of the best
I
comic
need to get
shows.
back to that show because I saw like 16 episodes and it was fucking great. I just fell off because I'm bad.
You might not like it when they get around to when they put it on the WB and they completely change the animation. But the first
I'm
season,
interested in like the clips. Like it seems like it becomes like a DC universe after a while, obviously, and it seems like it all flows together pretty well.
oh yeah, it's still good. It's just the look of like Joker just has these like tiny black eyes. Like the design choices are just so weird. I like the way the Joker looked at the beginning, and then he just gets flanderized to a weirder looking version of himself.
I'm gonna try to watch that whole universe in like chronological order. Like I have something bookmarked that was kind of a journey that I was planning. And I'm very excited. It's near the end because I'm watching chronologically if I stick with that. But I'm very excited for Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond is fucking awesome. That's one of my
Yeah,
favorite
that
shows. Return of the Joker is one of the best movies.
yeah, that seems like a pretty good show. I really like the. I don't know if I have the plot right because this is based on a 1 minute YouTube short. But what it seemed like the plot was, and the ultimate message that I appreciated was like, so some villain like fakes a voice in Bruce Wayne's head to manipulate him into doing things because he thinks it's like his inner psyche. And obviously Terry has to deal with that and figure out what's going on. But then eventually Bruce like figures it out and stops listening to the voice. And they're like powwowing later, and Terry's like, "How did you know that the voice wasn't real?" And he was like, "Because the voice was calling me the wrong name. It wouldn't call me Bruce Wayne." And then Terry's like, "Then what would it call you?" And then Bruce just kind of looks at him for a second, and he's like, "Oh, wait, but that's my name now."
I know what episode you're talking about. I just forgot the entire plot of it. But I know that scene you're talking about.
Because I do like that kind of internal. I like the idea. I've always been annoyed by superhero shows that don't highlight the humanity of their hero enough. But I think that becomes interesting once it's part of the character. So I like that kind of idea where they want Batman to just be Batman. So like it's part of his character that in his mind and soul he is Batman. Bruce Wayne is the fake identity. Batman is the guy.
This is a really good series. I love Terry too. My favorite Batman.
I'm very excited about that show. We'll see if I ever get around to it. But folks, we gotta end this fucking podcast. Jesus Christ.
But it's long.
That's okay. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna try to make more movie reviews happen. I'm making moves. I know I always say that, but I think there might be a couple in the near future. We'll
You ever
see.
need me again? I'm always watching movies for some reason or
I'll, I'll
another.
I'll hit you up. I was thinking maybe if Alan wants to come back on, we could do the original Superman movie. Might
Oh
be
shit! If you
might be
can,
fun.
you you can watch old campy movies and not fall asleep.
Yeah. I love old campy movies.
Yeah, he would love to. I wouldn't mind. I've been rewatched. I bought the 4K of that Superman. I've been watching it a bit lately.
Yeah, yeah, you always gotta rewatch it before the show. That is a rule. That's a
Oh
sacred
yeah,
text.
I've
So
been
I
watching
got
it. There's a couple of scenes I really like from it.
yeah, that'd be interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna make some moves as far as movie reviews are concerned. But Harry Otter, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me streaming at twitch.tv// Harry underscore Otter underscore. Always.
Okay. linktr.ee/Riely Cinematic Universe. That's Riely Cinematic Universe for all your Riely needs, podcasts, YouTube channels. Latest thing, Dead Podcast has been revived from the ground. Pokemon Variety Hour, releasing weekly episodes once more. Nuzlocke World Tour Challenge, exciting stuff, along with so much other stuff at
Watch it.
linktr.ee/Riely Cinematic Universe. Better watch it. But thank you for listening, folks. I've been Riely.
I'm Harry. Take care.
And see you later. Bye.